Damaners, DAMANERDS. Episode 53 is here finally. It's been a while. Me and Rod have been figuring out all these different players that we want to talk to. But we're coming back. We're coming back with vengeance this year. I promise you. With vengeance. So Damaners is here, episode 23. I'm your host, MJ from Kendertainment, always joined by the greatest, most friendliest Canadian you'll ever meet. Well, I don't know about the most friendliest. There's a lot of Canadians out there. But yes, we'll say greatest.
That's a bold claim.
Rod.
Hey,
Dama.
What is up, nerds? It's a pleasure to be back in the virtual studio.
Yes.
You know, as always, hanging out, you know, getting the guest in there, the not so secret guest, and then figuring out who the hell is going to intro this episode because we never remember who's odds and evens. So
yeah,
but here we are. We made it through again. We figured it out.
Friday, June 24th, 2022 here in the JP time. It is 12:18. I just scarfed down some food for lunch, got my water ready, and it's going to be a good one. Everyone, today we have the one and only possible young gun, maybe not a young gun anymore, Dylan Westmoreland.
Dwesty. So, what's up, nerds? Stoked to be here. Truly an honor. Been a long-time listener, long-time Patreon supporter. You know, you got to get on that.
Yes. Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, for that. Yeah. We're excited to have you here. Possibly the youngest guest that we've had. Possibly.
Really?
Maybe.
I think so. You know? And
you're younger than Fish, right? Yeah, you are.
Fish.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then the Gallaghers, or at least Nick. So it's really going to be a good one to hear your perspective, because we look at, you know, there's a lot of videos about Nick and Zach when they were growing up. There's a lot of young clips of them and stuff, and as well as with you, Dylan. But the companies, unlike, you know, Sweets with the Gallaghers, no one's highlighted your history when you were young. You didn't have the skunk hair, but you know, you had the moose in there sometimes here and there. And you did have a strong passion for this wooden toy from back in the day. So we're going to start from way back. The classic question that everyone has is, how did you find it? But we're going to skip that shit because we're fucking Damaners. We don't care.
Skip that shit.
What we're going into, right into it, everyone, because we all know who Dylan Westmoreland, Dwesty. Should we call you Dwesty anymore? Does that have like a young feel? You know how like some people, when they're like, "Hi, my name's like Mikey," when you were young, you're Mikey, but then as you get into like high school and shit, you're like, "I am Michael," you know?
I think I'm very much Dwesty in Kendama. When I introduce myself, I still say my name is Dylan, but Dwesty was my Instagram name for Kendama, and I mean, kind of stuck when that's my page that has the most views. People see it the most, so yeah, I kind of expect it.
So how did Dwesty come about?
That's a good one. Dwesty came about back in middle school, actually, and it's pretty fitting because I love baseball so much. My middle school, not my middle school coach, my travel coach in middle school, he just gave me that nickname Dwesty, and it really just stuck from there. And I made it my username, obviously, and it's an easier way to, you know, to say all those letters in Westmoreland. So
I was about to say, you do have. Yeah. There is a lot of letters in your last name.
Yeah, it's kind of long.
It does make sense. Yeah.
So then you locked that one in. So did all of your friends in middle school then call you that? Did it continue, or was it just for the baseball routine?
I mean, baseball, they would call me like Westy, Dwesty, but it was very much Kendama. In school, I was Dylan. Like Dwesty is a very, very much a Kendama thing.
None of your family calls you Dwesty.
No. Like my sister goes by like Westy. Like literally, that's like her nickname. Like she just has Westy, and I've been Dwesty longer. But my dad's the real OG Westy, so you know it's a whole line. It's a whole line of it. But
Senior Westy.
The capital D Westy.
It was a Kendama thing, and it's cool to have a nickname stick. I guess it was only one I ever knew, so it worked out.
yeah, and that's pretty cool that it has stuck for so long, and it's like that's one that's like not going to get weird or old. You know, some people like, I don't know, like, you know, hands off my sack is one that just popped into my head, you know, Alex. It's like he's still going to probably rep that for a long time, but still like Dwesty is like just it's you. It is your actual name and shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It works. So.
Yeah. Okay. So Dylan, Mr. Westmoreland, let's go back to it and let's hear about your connection with other people when you got into it. You're saying what, middle school? Tell us about Pure Kendama. Your buddies in Pure.
Oh my god,
the Russ and D West.
Pure Kendama was like a middle school team. Most of these guys probably, I mean, a couple of them continued through high school and still maybe fiddle with it now, but nothing like back then. But yeah, they were just a group of Kendama players at my school, and I think I was kind of late to the party, but I was progressing pretty fast, and we all got to play at the same school, so I got to join for a little bit. I felt like I was on the later end side of it. Like I joined as I was going up, they were kind of getting towards the end of their love for Kendama. Like mine was just continuously exponentially growing at that point, so like theirs was just kind of going the opposite directions, I guess. So like once high school hit, I feel like there was just maybe like my one buddy Braden, who was a part of Pure Kendama. He would jam with me all the time, and all the way from back from like 7th grade. So he continued, but like, yeah, now I'm drifting farther up into high school and continuing the story. But those first couple of years were super fun. You know, that's like where I found my first love for it, was just getting to play with my friends and be competitive with my friends. Like if there wasn't people around me playing, there's no way I would have continued. Like it was force fed to me, as in like there were so many kids around me that had it at my school. Like I like couldn't have not tried it. Like there was just like no way I was going to avoid this thing. Like so many kids had it before I even decided to try it once. So it was just there. And then there was people to get to beat and playing Ken. It was just, I was competitive. I love sports. So it was easy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it really helps to have people to play with and like push each other, especially in the beginning. So it's such a contrast. Cause like for like me, I was like with pretty much only Eric, and like I guess Alex was in another town and stuff, but we'd hang out a lot. But it was just like, you know, that one person is enough, but you had like a school full of people to hang out with every day and such with. That's pretty sick.
Definitely. Like when you're first getting started, I feel like you kind of need that. Like you can't appreciate it quite the same online. I mean, you can, like that's how I got even more passionate about it once I started, you know, figuring out what there was online. But those initial days, if you can have somebody to like push yourself where you're both just kind of fooling around, like how many base cup down spikes can you do in a row? Like, oh my God, bro, that's like the funnest. Like I still have a vivid memory of like middle school, like getting back from summer break, just been playing for like 2 or 3 months. Some people have been playing 4 or 5, and we're all like in a circle, and I'm just smacking base cup down spike like over and over again, like base cup down spike, base cup down spike, like 5 in a row, just like oh, like just smacking them back to back. Like just genuinely so fun in middle school. And then I feel like kids still liked it, and then they thought they were too cool for it because they were going into high school. Like they were like, oh, this ain't for me anymore. Like,
high school is one of those times, you know, you're never sure what to do, I don't think.
Yeah,
but you do want to be cool.
Yeah.
You got that right.
And then there's a sense of like Kendama not being cool, right? And like that's the interesting thing, because I think there's so many groups that are created, especially, you know, when you first get into it, it's usually a group of people like you, and then like, you know, you kind of like hook your other friend or 2 other friends into it.
Yeah.
And then you see online, you know, like there's teams and shit. You're like, yeah, okay, let's make a team, which is actually a good idea, because that really like solidifies like the core members, or like it makes you think like, hey, let's hang out like every whatever day at this time to jam. And then that's going to improve your progress and shit. So having a team is really good. I don't know if people still do it so much, or like when that happens, but usually in that team, as just Dylan, like you were saying, people, you get older, years pass, and it usually that team dwindles. The passion for the Dama dwindles, and then you see the true nerds sticking it out.
Yeah.
Where did that passion come from? Like you said, you're really competitive. You were playing sports, right? You were playing baseball. Did you feel more, I guess, in control? Like, you know, it's not a team sport, Kendama. It's all up to you. Did you like that more than baseball?
I feel like I like the team aspect of baseball, but to really answer your question, why what hooked me onto Kendama, I feel like it was just like very much right place, right time. Like I got to jam with so many friends at school, and that really pushed me to just grow for like the first year. Like I was just like at a point where I probably did not anticipate being, just because I had so many people around me pushing me. And like, I sometimes forget that, like, because it was so long ago. That's like 7-8 years ago now. But
what year was that? Like 2014, 15?
2014, yeah. 2014. But then once I realized there was like an online community, and like getting to see at that point, there was already like a world champion, like Bonds was already world champion. Like there was already like big video projects by Kendama USA and like other companies that made Kendama look extremely cool for like not being like the biggest market. Like they did a really good job of like presenting it as like a really fun like skill toy hobby, whatever you want to call it. Like they made so many people I could go on. There's too many people to list, but there's so many people that in those original days that laid it out to like make it really appealing to like, especially like a young kid, like that just looks so cool and fun. The fact they're out there traveling just to play this toy that I've already been obsessed with for like a year, like just doesn't even like make sense. Like, so, and then, yeah, I just really love the aspect. You can just do it obviously whenever, wherever, like there's no like regulation. You don't need anything more than like a flat ground to like jam some dom. So yeah.
in your group, the Pure Kendama, did you find yourself at the top quickly in skill level?
There were some kids that were pretty honed, like my friends Braden, Leonard, and they were pretty skilled. But I think at a certain point, when they were maybe getting less into it, I was just, as I said, just running with it, like all in, like.
Becoming the Kendama monster you are today.
Yeah, pretty much. I was hooked, dude.
You mentioned, you said, you quoted, "I was late to the party." There was an actual party that you went to where TJ Kolsnick, Kenyatta Williams joined as like party clowns, but party Kendama pros. Tell us about how that was. What place of your Kendama journey when you were starting? Was at the very beginning? Was the middle? Yeah. You know who they were? What was it like? So
I started playing mid 2014. This event, this birthday party you're referring to, happened in like March 2015, I believe. And it was at my homie's house, who used to like take me to school. Like his dad was like, this kind of unimportant detail. His dad was like the principal, and he would like give us a ride to school. And like his parents like clearly had some money, because they can afford to like pay 2 Kendama pros to drive 60 miles from San Diego to come to like a birthday party with a bunch of 13-year-olds or 14-year-olds. So yeah, I mean, I got to meet TJ, or no, I'd already met TJ at that point. I think that was my first time meeting Kenyatta maybe. And that was super sick. I think he was like not even on Tribe yet. So it was like early Yada for sure. That was super sick to see him pull up. I don't know if we knew he was going to be there, but either way, it was a sick experience. I remember I got to beat TJ and Ken on my Sweets homegrown. I thought I was so sick.
That is definitely something that everyone will brag about as like being your average, whatever, a non-sponsored Kendama player. And then like you beat a pro or something, you feel like, yeah.
You run back to the homies. Yo, I beat the pro.
Yeah. And everyone's just so excited about it. So was it a surprise? You knew they were coming, or was it like a surprise knock at the door?
No. We knew he was going to be there. I think somewhere deep in not too deep, but somewhere in my room, not worth grabbing. There's a flyer for it. Like TJ Kolsnick's going to be at Kyle's birthday party, and it's got like a picture of TJ with like a tribute shirt and like a tribute Dom probably. Yeah. And just like just advertising it. Probably got passed around to the Ken homies at school or whatever. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Damn.
So you were psyched. Were they there for a long time doing just mini games? Were they like was there face painting involved?
I think he might have given away a couple Kendamas, or you might have done like some mini games. I just remember just playing Kendama and enjoying it. I don't remember exactly what we did, honestly. It was fun though.
Did that help you like feel like, wow, like this is something that like people get paid for, like pros? Like did that kind of in your mind then give you a kind of future of Kendama could be something that could lead me into a kind of career path?
Career path is probably never what I ever thought, or I even think to this day. I mean, like, I do a lot of kendama tricks, so I don't really anticipate a career coming out of it unless it's like farther down the line I'm able to figure something out. But I don't think at any point I really was like, this is like going to be my career. Like, it was always like, but there's definitely many points where I realized there was opportunities that I saw myself having that I wanted to work to get them, like, getting the opportunity to get sponsored. Like, I saw that beforehand, like, and I worked to get it. And like going pro, I worked because I saw that I thought there was an opportunity there and I thought maybe I could do it. So like, there was definitely stuff I wanted to work towards, but I never really thought, I think I'm going to be a kendama player for the rest of my life. Like, as a career.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be that'd be sick, but it's just not too feasible on the body, or like there's just not really a market for it. So unless you're making them or producing them, I mean, there's a handful of lucky guys that get to do it, you know?
Unless you have somebody paying you to do stuff constantly, or like you're winning every competition. And even then, there's not that many kendama competitions that pay money, really.
Yeah.
Or that pay a lot of money.
Yeah. But it doesn't take away
it's like becoming more and more, but that's good though too, because that's not, I don't think that that's what kendama is about for that reason. You know, it's not something that you can be like, yo, I'm just going to like grind tricks really hard so I can like make money at this kind of thing. You know, it's like people who do it because they love it. Yeah. And like the money is just an added bonus to help pay your flight to get your ass out there or whatever. Right.
Yeah. So you said you met TJ a little bit before that party. West Coast, there's a lot of people who repped KUSA, I feel, in California. Maybe in your area, you know, we got Wayne's, Ken Garden was over there. You know, Mateo was from over there. It feels like there's a bigger scene in the West Coast. So did you have your eyes set for like Kendama USA as to be like, maybe I want to be sponsored? Who would I think about?
So for the first year and a half or so, I was really trying a lot of kendamas, like trying to see what other brands had to offer and like enjoying the kendamas I had and just thrashing them. Yeah, and I wasn't too focused on picking a lane on which company I wanted to support and promote and work towards a sponsor. Yeah. But there was a point in late 2015 when TJ, maybe even before he had sent me these kendamas, I had just known that he had been following me and supporting me, maybe talking a little bit. I don't know if we had hung out at this point or if that was a little bit later, but I could just see that he appreciated what I was doing for kendama at that point. Like, he appreciated my style and my tricks. And it seemed like if I keep working, he definitely probably gave me he probably told me some things that really like boosted my confidence and made me want to do it. Cause I'm trying to, think of what my motivation would be to want to do that. And it would have to be probably pretty direct things he would have to say to me to make me get that feeling. And I don't remember, obviously it was so long ago, I don't remember exactly what was said, but like, I'm sure he gave me he pushed me a little bit and was like, keep crushing it, kid type thing. Like, and kind of gave me a path to like, I was like, oh, maybe if I keep grinding and keep posting these tricks, like there's a chance, who knows? Like, I just kept working and posting lots of tricks, making videos, and I wanted it. So,
and TJ chose you, right? I think all the pros at the time, or the people who were on the tribute team, right? They chose people to be tribe, and TJ chose you, right, Dylan?
TJ chose me, correct, but he also chose Kenyatta before me, so he had 2 tribe picks.
Oh, okay. Yes. Now I recall that in the Kenyatta episode, he did mention that too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that he. I mean, I don't know how many people had 2 tribe picks. Probably a handful of KUSA guys got to have 2 tribe picks, and TJ was one of them. So that was really cool. He like ran the San Diego kendama scene. Like, that dude like did so much for kendama and like profited for one. But I mean, like, he found success in kendama like no one else almost has found. I mean, obviously people have found great success, but I just want to say in like that short amount of time and like hosting his own world tour, like he completely created like his own tour and like went on a full tour, like all around, made a whole giant YouTube video on it, has like so many views now. It's like, I just think I have a ton of respect for his work ethic in kendama back then. Like he was a big inspiration to me, like no doubt.
That's good. Yeah. Cause I feel like there was a big connection with you two, not only just, him being your pick, but him being in California, probably seeing you as you were growing up, kind of being like possible mentor. Was he helping you out a lot once you got on Tribe? Were you asking him about stuff? Like what was your like connection to Kendama USA? Who were you like really close with? Feels like I would assume TJ.
Yeah, for sure. TJ, like he was who got me on the Kendama USA. So obviously I would ask him for a lot of advice, or if maybe there was a trip and I wanted to just get some advice from him. He was definitely the main dude that got me on the team, and I had a ton of respect for him and looked up to him a lot. And he was going pro the same year that I went Tribe. So I knew like maybe if I want to go pro, I have to follow what this guy's doing a little bit. And I mean, I didn't to go pro, but we definitely had different paths of like going pro, but he was a huge inspiration all around, just in how much he did for Kendama. It was truly special. I mean, that's why I even got to meet him, because he had such a passion for doing that stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, what did you think? What did your parents think? Because like me, Rod, you know, our parents were in other places when we were getting into Kendama. As you know, we were on our own paths and shit. You, with a lot of other, you know, younger slayers, of course, to live with your parents, going to school and stuff. What did your parents think about the whole thing? Getting into like, what is that wooden cup thing?
Yeah,
spending a lot of time on
what's
that.
all that banging in there?
Right, stop dropping it! I told you not inside the house. Like, or just like, were they excited? Like, oh, my son's not playing video games as much anymore. I guess let him go.
Yeah.
How supportive were they?
Yeah, they were very supportive. I have to be thankful for them. I mean, I feel like you have to have, I mean, I don't even want to go the opposite way, but I'm thankful for my parents for just supporting Kendama as any parent should. Like, what's wrong with Kendama? It's way better than staring at a screen. I mean, I don't know how any parent couldn't be like, that's sweet. That looks like fun. Like, I'm glad you're outside seeing the sun and not staring at a screen. So yeah, my parents were completely supportive, and my dad bought me my first Kendama off Amazon. Like, they bought me Kendamas. At a certain point, they didn't have to buy me any more Kendamas, but they bought me a lot of Kendamas in the beginning, and I won some competitions, so it was cool. I feel like I didn't break the bank like for the years I played Kendama, so that's cool. Nice. They were super, they were super supportive though. I got to be thankful for them. Yeah, they took me to some events, or I would try to find rides any way possible. But I was only 13 when I started, and I got sponsored by the time I was 15. So I mean, once I'm sponsored, it's like you can't really tell me anything. I'm sponsored. Like I'm gonna keep playing. Like I don't know. Like,
so what was the first Dama off Amazon?
Ooh.
It was a green Caleb Kendama, like a rubberized, all green.
Caleb Kendama. Nice.
Yeah.
Man, and I was actually thinking, just since I'm talking about a Kendama, you like baseball. So have you ever heard of or seen or own one of the Mizuno Jack Kendamas? The ones you know what I'm talking about?
I know
the
what
ones
you're
that
talking
are
about.
Yeah, they're made of the Mizuno bat extras that aren't good enough for bats or whatever. And Jack Kendama buys them and makes maple Kendamas out of them. They're pretty sick.
Ash too. Yeah.
That's a sick concept. I looked at them on Instagram a couple times, but I never got one. They still sell them, do you know?
Dude, they
I think so. Yeah. They just put some out, right?
They just put some out, and they finally have opened up a international shipping. I guess they figured all that out. So you can now buy it, because before you couldn't, but they would like advertise, and it's got the new micro lines, dude. Those fucking, it's got the fingerprint micro engraving throughout all of the Tama, all the perch areas, the handle stall. There's these grooves that if you're holding it, you can totally see like this fingerprint groove all over the whole thing.
Whoa.
Sick.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I messed with one with the Kayaki version that they had.
There's a Yaki version.
There was. It was gone real quick. But they just but this one is the Mizuno bat maple version coming out. Go check it out. But yeah, that's such a cool concept, and I think not only just for like being like a baseball fan, but also just if anyone's like thinking about the world being like a little eco-friendly, like that totally makes sense. That's such an awesome idea that he had. I don't know how he made that connection, but
or like how he hit up Mizuno. I wonder too, like Mizuno's not the only people who make bats, and like there's other companies that do stuff with like that shape of wood, so like I don't know, maybe I wonder if other companies also buy that and do things with them. Or
yeah. But okay, but
anyways,
you did get into Kendama 2014. What do you think about shapes? I remember on the Russ and D West, vlogs, you were really all about the Ozoras being like the perfect shape.
Yeah, it was.
Which I think everyone, all those old school players, me and Rod as well, the old heads, like that was your only option. And it was so much better quality than shit off Amazon.
Yeah, I enjoyed Azoras. It was cool getting a chance to play those Kenamas when I got into Kendama, since I got in 2014, shapes didn't really start changing, and all around the board probably to like 2017. I mean, I think Slay Dog was like 2016, so probably about 2017.
Just missed the tribute era, right? I think that was when Kaizen. That was like maybe a few like Kaizen, a year or something.
Kaizen came in 2014. Yeah. So I got to like 6-7 months into Dom. I think they dropped the Kaizen line and like those V4 Pro mods. I think it was V4, like the silk ones, the Red Smith, the classic, or the most recent Colin mod, like.
Yeah. No, that one. Yeah, on the Kaizens.
The one with the Nook shook on the can and like the ice creamy colors, like
and the Zach Yord brew themed. Yeah. Okay.
That one was really sick.
Yeah, that was a great line. But I lost my train of thought, honestly.
The old school shapes. Sticky paint. You were, I went back. I checked out some pure Kendama. Your fucking old YouTube channel. I watched the Cat in the Hat skit and shit.
Oh no!
There was, but you were playing with a lot of old.
That's got to be on unlisted or private or something.
There was a lot of old Kendamas that you're using. Sticky paints. I saw you using natties, and when Sweet's Homegrown came out, like everyone was using those natties and stuff. But you were doing some pretty. There's a lot of juggles. There was instas, 2-finger string. How did you feel when these new shapes came out?
Yeah, I embraced them pretty easily. If there was some that got too outlandish, maybe I looked at them twice, but by pretty quickly, every shape just became the norm. Like it was nothing that was too big, it seemed. So kind of just started accepting them as they come. But I enjoyed them. I enjoyed getting to play the bigger shapes, and that's how Kendama evolves, obviously. Was there like a revelation with like adding a longer string, especially with your play style? You do good amount of juggles and shit. I don't know if it was at one point where I just extended it. Probably just got like a little bit longer over time. And I remember like KWC 2017, I think, was the year Leon got like third, and he had like a rope string. And like it was so foreign to everybody.
Yeah.
Even like the Gallaghers are just like, what the heck? Like, everyone's just like,
even in Japan, people were talking about the length of his string, like how he swings for like a swing spike, and it's like I think the Tama touched the ground. Like it's so super long.
He's not a tall dude either, so it just looks longer even on him. I bet you like Rolf plays the same string or like longer, but you just don't notice because he's such a big dude,
right? And he's like, how long is that? He's like, four fingers.
Yeah, for him it's
four Rolf fingers.
Yeah, it's like a fucking MacBook Pro.
4 sausages, bro, just all lined up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit! Oh man. So okay, a lot of shapes you went through, and that's pretty cool. And I think that's when you came in, that's kind of special for your perspective on Kendama, to understand like the old heads of where they came from, the paints as well, and the progression that's come into, where some people like now recently getting into Kendama, like the shape hasn't been fully maximized, but I feel like it's getting there so far from the play style. But dude, when you were a part of Kendama USA, you had a hand in creating the shift shape. How was that? Like,
so that was really cool. I got to be at the craft warehouse in Tennessee, I believe. And that was a really cool experience, like with Wyatt, Skaggs, Smith, Jarrow, Ryan. Pretty sure that was probably the squad, at least for one of those sessions. I think we might have had a couple sessions going in there trying to work on shapes, like when we were working on the shift shape. And honestly, even to this day, I struggle with deciding what would make a Kendama better. I can't really think of those things, don't just like come to mind. I really just like picking up a Kendama and playing with it for what it's worth, for what that Kendama will give me. So even back then, this was like 2018, so 4 years ago, I didn't really have I could be completely honest, I didn't have a ton of input to create a shape. I know Wyatt had some big things he wanted to do, and at that point he was pro and I was tribe, so I was down to I respect this guy's opinion. I know he's going to come up with something excellent, and I got to try the protos, and obviously I had little inputs, but I didn't have a significant input into the shift shape, creating a shape. But it was a very cool experience getting to be there. Seeing Kendama's hand turn is always a special thing. So I always got mad respect for people that can do that. Shout out Rod.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you could too with some time, but you just got to get in there and do it.
Yeah. Tools, have a good teacher. I mean, like same like Kendama. Like so many people, like even here in Japan, where everyone knows what a Kendama is, they see it, they're like, oh wow, that's too difficult for me. And I'm like, you just got to put in a little time and then have someone kind of teach you the small hints that you need, these small tips that make it a hell of a lot easier. And then that's when the floodgates open for the people who get into it to see like, oh, this is fun. And it is actually a little easier than I thought it was.
Yeah. It's only impossible for you if you think it's impossible for you.
Gosh, is that? Should we put that on a T-shirt or something, Ron?
I bet you it is on a T-shirt, but yeah, we could probably do it better.
Oh shit! So you're like, I'm thinking like guitarists. There's a lot of guitarists who are all about like the amp sound, type of string sizes they use, the pedals and shit. So do you sound
down to the type of wood the guitar is made from? You know?
Yeah, dude. So I resonate what you're saying, Dylan, because it's like, as me for a guitar player, I don't care. As long as the shit's loud and I got a distortion on it, I'll play it.
Oh yeah. No, I like the way you kind of put it, Dylan, too, about like, like I like what did you say? It was like what this kendama can give me. Like that's what you can get out of it kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, I like that a lot because that's kind of like what I think too. I'll like play a kendama and be like, ooh, this is like, this one's the stall one. Like, we're doing stalls, and then you pick up another one like, oh, this one's the loon one. We're we're landing some looners today, boys. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's cool to think that way about it too, because it's like you're adapting to the kendama rather than like expecting the kendama to just be perfect and do everything. Of course, in a perfect world that'd be sick, but it's just not quite the world we live in. So sometimes you got to do what you can with what you got, I guess. Yeah.
So does the shift shape kind of still hold something special for you since you were like there during the process of it?
Yeah, for sure. And that was the shape of my pro model with Kendama USA. So I think that was actually the first pro model with the shift shape. So that was cool getting to debut it on the shift shape. That was pretty tight.
Oh, that was the first one, eh? That's cool.
Yeah, I think me and Bish released mods the same weekend at MKO, and hers was in the slim shape, and then I had the shift shape on mine.
Nice. On that note, actually, I think I remember your KUSA Pro mod had 57 on the cup, right? And and I believe it said that it was like it had something to do with the string length. It was 57 centimeters. Is that what that was?
Technical.
So that was kind of like the back end of the reason it was cool to match the 57 centimeters because that was a string length I enjoyed playing, but that's not like why I put the 57 on the cup. I mean, I guess I might as well explain why. It's in like my pro video. I explained, not to say it, just.
No, I mean, some people are like you talking about that.
Some people are going to recognize it as soon as I say it. That's the only reason I'm hesitating. But 57 was like my lucky number. My grandma passed away in 2013 when she was 57 years old, and I would like wear that jersey on my wear that number on my jersey, and just seemed like it was my lucky number. And then coincidentally, the day I got announced on Kendama USA was May 7th, and in
the 5th month.
In day or month day format, it's 5/7. So
that's some synchronicities. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it was just a special number for me. So I just want to slap it on there, and then 57 centimeters was like a string length that worked for my style. So I just ran with it.
Oh, okay. That's like oddly specific. I've never heard of another kendama player saying like how long their string actually is in any measurement but fingers.
Yeah.
So, and that always nothing bad about it. And I was just always struck me as odd. I was like,
they probably weren't even 57. They were probably
that's
like
what I was gonna
some
say.
were like
There's no
55,
fucking
some were
way.
like 60. Like
there's no fucking way the guy in the factory in China is sitting there with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and a tape measure in the other hand, fucking measuring these things as he's tying the knot. There's just no way.
There's no way those string lengths were off. Sure.
Yeah, it's like they're 57 plus or minus 10.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
Yeah. So you've been with KUSA. You were with KUSA for about like 4 years, right? What are some highlights?
There was a lot. I mean, the Japan trips always really stick out. Super thankful for all Kenama USA did for me. I mean, getting to go to Japan when I was 16, that was my first time leaving the country, and I got to go to KWC. So that was just incredible. And especially, I don't even have to explain to you guys like how cool it is to play Kendama in Japan. Like, it's just such a cool feeling.
Let's explain it. Let's explain it for the people who haven't been experienced Japan.
It's just such a strong connection, obviously, as Kendama is a Japanese skill toy, and getting to go to the country that created Kendama is just such a special thing, especially to go compete in a World Cup. Just crazy.
In the town where it was created too, right? Not just the country.
Yes.
Right down to the city.
True.
Which most Japanese people don't even know about. It's like, it's from Hiroshima? Oh, okay.
Japan's always special. I really enjoyed those times. All stand out. They all stand out very differently in my mind. I got to go 3 times, and then 2020 was the COVID year, so I haven't been back since 2019. So the 17, 18, 19, the years I went were all just stand out so differently, and there's special memories for sure. But so many great memories with Kendama USA. First MKO, getting to go meet so many people in 2016. That was obviously so special. That's always an event that if you can make it out to, you should go, because there's so many Kendama players from North America that pop out, and you could meet just about anybody you want. So I always enjoyed MKOs. The Creeper Reel Tour, I got like the shirt hanging right here. That was epic, and that was right after I went pro for Kendama USA. So I got to go to the MKO. Me and Bish got our mods announced, and then we got to go on a little road trip in the van with the boys. Just stopping in some places on the way from Minnesota on the way to Georgia. So going down through the U.S. and it was a great time.
Nobu joined that one, right?
Yes, it was first time in the U.S. like outside of the MKO experience. So like the mall and the hotel. So it was like so cool getting to like show him just a little bit more and just getting him in the van with us. It was so cool.
What's give us a good Nobu story from the Creep It Real tour.
I mean, from Nobu himself. I asked him how it was. He's like, Wyatt was crazy, smashing pumpkins. And he also said that they smoke a lot of weed in America, huh?
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because it was in October, right? It was around Halloween season, so there was pumpkins out.
Yeah, we were smashing pumpkins like on top of the van, just like hucking pumpkins into the ground. Peace out, Chicago! Slam a pumpkin, dip.
Did you make Nobu do it? Like this is what Americans do.
He wouldn't do it.
This is how we take care of the pumpkins at the end.
He wouldn't do it. He's too nice, bro. He's way too polite. Has way too many manners to ever smash a pumpkin and dip.
Oh man!
But,
how long was that tour? That was a few weeks. No,
it was honestly. I think it might have just been a week.
1 week.
It was pretty quick. Yeah, like probably like 3 or 4. Probably 4 stops just on the way to Georgia. End up at the KUSA headquarters. Good ending location, so that worked out nice.
And then how was the tour? You've been on a few tours, but how was that one? Was that your first like let's get in a van for a while?
Yeah, there hasn't been a ton labeled tours. Probably just 2. The recent Europe one that was incredible. But this Creep It Real one in 2018 was relatively short. I remember it just flying by, and especially it was right after MKO, so kind of hagged into the van, just kind of like making it through, like sleeping a lot. But we had some good turnouts at some of the events. I remember the last stop in Georgia was probably like the biggest turnout. There was a ton of people that came out to jam with us. So that was super cool, I think, to end on that stop.
Yeah.
But that was super cool. I mean, Mags was there. Pretty sure he was fresh on KUSA, so within a couple months. So it was cool getting to kick it with him, because that was something that had came to fruition from months earlier, like seeing him at Dama and stuff, and then getting to have him roll in the van with us a couple months later was pretty tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun little tour. It definitely went by pretty quick.
So let's hear, what was the craziest thing?
The craziest thing. I don't know about the craziest thing. I don't know. I don't have the craziest. Did
Skaggs like almost like fall asleep on the wheel? Was there like a patch of fucking black ice or some shit? Did you run out of gas somewhere?
I think we got to have a Halloween party. I think that was pretty funny, just messing around on Halloween. It worked out nice where it was the week of Halloween. We got to hang out at Mag's house, our stop in Michigan on the way back from Minnesota. And
what were the costumes?
I don't even think I had a costume. Probably not. I think I had maybe some stupid mask. I don't know. It was nothing special. I didn't bring a costume. Like I wasn't gonna fit that in the MKO bag. Like
oh, that's a lot. That was cool when MKO was around Halloween. That was always fun. I had a costume one year. I had my squirrel suit with me. That was fun. I got to wear it in the Mall of America.
That's fun.
So a lot of stuff. KUSA helped you become the Kendama player you are. You then left.
Yeah.
What was the reasons behind the leave at that time? Right, I believe Wyatt left, then Skaggs, and then you, Dylan.
That first one, Skaggs left first, probably like early 2020, and I left. I guess just mentioning the names you mentioned, and it was not like there's a whole list of names people that left, but those three that we all left in similar, I think probably the same year, 2020. It was Skaggs, and then I left, and then Wyatt left a couple months later.
Dude, that shook the community. Did you know? Like people were just like, we're worried for KUSA at that moment.
It's kind of expected. I mean, not expected, but like it's. People wonder why. Obviously, people are going to have questions like, why did you do that? Like maybe they think the worst, but it's really nothing too negative. And I just was more looking forward, and I had the opportunity to get a spot with Krom, which I always just thought was a super sick company. That I don't need to list all the reasons why I think Krom's a dope company, but it was an opportunity that I was extremely stoked to get, that I wanted to run with, and I wanted to look forward instead of back, which was tough, but I wanted to rep Krom, and I was super honored to get that opportunity. And COVID kind of, I feel like, didn't give me the full experience of being a Krom pro or sponsored by Krom or getting to be on this team, because just we have lost so many events, and like just like sure there's stuff coming back, and there's been online stuff, but like there's tons of stuff that was missed and lost because of COVID. So
that's totally right. Because you mentioned 2019, the big, trip to Japan. You were still under the KUSA umbrella, or flagship, I should say. And then moving over to Krom. I mean, both start with K. I mean, I guess Kendama companies and like they like to use the letter K, but so
can't imagine why.
There was a lot. So you mentioned you did enjoy. There's many aspects, almost too much to list. What were some good points of Krom? Did you like their shapes were crazy? Krom is really, really intricate with their multiple shapes across the board that they have for different players of different styles to choose from.
There's a lot.
If we're thinking about like their graphics, they're very, very different. KUSA is probably on the most like subtle side of Dama graphics compared to other companies out there, or I mean, at least from the big three. I think not using a lot of, almost never using, no, they do like rubber paints, matte paints, for the pops and stuff. but it's all about that loud clear. Like that. So
I did like that.
so what were some of those highlights that you were like, yeah, like this is going to be dope? I remember like Bonds, what was it? Oh, that no jumper interview he did, that podcast he did. He mentioned how like that was one big thing when Tokyo sent him a prototype of the sleigh dog. It's like, this is what we're thinking. This is the future. And that's when Bonds was like, fuck, like sign me up. Like if this is what your guys are going to be doing, I'm on.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just to jump off that quickly, that's really cool. Bonds' way of getting on Krom. Like it's so fitting that he got the first sleigh dog and it was like, oh, this is it. And then ran with Krom. Like that's super fitting because that shape was very influential to the community and the development of Kendama shapes. But what made me really want to join Krom was a ton of different reasons. First, I guess I could say the team was, I always loved their team and just their style. And I feel like it's expanded a little bit more, which I'm okay with, but it always had a small team vibe, but I really thought was cool. And of course their designs have always been incredible. Their video editing. I love that how they come out with so many different designs where even if there's one that's not my favorite, there's 8 more that are so sick and just they go crazy with them. And I don't know how TK and the guys at the Krom headquarters bust out so many Damas, but they're constantly working to bring out new product. And I think it's really cool to see that constant push of dropping new product, new Damas to play. And obviously so many shapes to play. It seems like I really only jam the 2 good nowadays. I'm just so comfortable with that shape. That shape is the one on my pro model. And
that's a fitting name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's too good.
It's an all-around Dama for sure. I enjoy that one. But there was a lot of reasons for me to go to Krom. It was hard to leave KUSA, but it's a very positive thing. I was extremely lucky to have the opportunity to go to Krom, and I wanted to run with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a relationship. I could see like so many people who have made a change, which again, Kendama is still really young. Not many people have had this experience of departing, leaving from one company, going to another, unless it was like that last company was, caught fire. You had the move from KUSA to Krom already lined up.
Yeah. Okay. There was never like free agency period. Like I was
you were like Fisher.
I was signing the unofficial contract before I even like left the other one. So I was on board before I really told anybody. It was like I wanted to make sure that I can do this because I don't want to just dip and hope for the best and
burn bridges or anything like that.
Yeah.
As well as, your passion for it is pretty big. Like you are one, I think, of the players that is on the quiet side, I would say. And you still like have so much passion that you can see, you're like Wyatt is not on the quiet side and you hear his passion, you see his passion, of course. But like you were saying from the beginning, like, you didn't see Kendama as like a career path or something. You're going to like, the passion is there. You enjoy playing this wooden ball cup toy.
Yeah, very much passion. And anybody who still plays to this day will say the same thing. They're playing because they enjoy it, but have to give some credit to Kendama USA and now Krom for giving me opportunities to have motivation to work towards, work towards those things. Like, I would not have pushed myself as hard as I did if I didn't think there would be some kind of gain from it. Like, I definitely was very excited to get all the trips I got to take and getting a mod and all that. So it was very much passion, but also like seeing opportunities and chasing them down. So, but it was so much fun and still enjoying it to this day. I'll always be playing. 8 years now. 8 years of Dom.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Was there someone in particular you were like excited to be a team member with on Krom?
Fish was the main guy that kind of talked me into getting with the team, kind of convinced me. And I mean, there wasn't much convincing to do. I did it by my own free will, but he was the guy I kind of got my way in with. So, but obviously Bonds, no question. He's the GOAT. As I said earlier in the podcast, when I started like watching Kendama videos, he was the first world champion. So it's like, who's this dude? The world, like, who's this world champion dude? Yeah. And he's just posting insane tricks. Like, and it's just, he's always just been, I've always had so much respect for him and what he's given to Kendama, and his passion for it just shines through too. Like, you can just tell that dude loves Kendama. So it's always fun. Always so fun to see the passion people have for Kendama.
I know you have a big love for also Wyatt, right? You guys being together within the KUSA squad. You mentioning in the past, I've seen, like you mentioned, like top 3, like Wyatt's definitely up there. And there's a lot of connection with you two. Like in the past, like 2019, see some pictures, videos of you and Wyatt, like, you know, like pushing each other. So is Wyatt still up there in your rankings of like top players?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He to this day is probably my favorite player still. And I consider him my best Dama friend, like probably the closest guy I've ever gotten within Kendama.
Yeah.
We might not talk all the time anymore, but I'm going to go see him later in about a month, actually, right before Brew Battle. I'll get to go kick it with Wyatt. So
nice.
That should be fun. But yeah, man, that dude really inspired me back in the day, especially being a young kid on KUSA. He was a world champ, but much more than that, it was the way he grinded Kendama and just completely pushed himself on a regular basis. And especially with the consistent Instagram clips of him posting and the COTK guys, he was a huge inspo to really push myself and grind tricks and push myself through the lens, as you can say, because many of the tricks I've landed in my life, and I'm sure this goes for everyone, this isn't something original, I wouldn't have ever landed them if there wasn't a camera recording me. I would not have put in the work to go that deep in a trick if there wasn't the reward of getting to have it on film forever. Like, sure, I would have been playing and pushing myself, but getting to film something you really, maybe it is just me, but I know a lot of other pros would probably say they're pushing themselves to that limit because they're recording it. They want to have it on film.
It's an added bonus, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Then you can watch it later.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, talk about films and shit with your announcement for Krom. There was a little cut, a little scene of Back to the Future. Is there a reason for that? What's the connection there?
I love that movie, Back to the Future, and I think in 2020, I busted out my the trilogy of Back to the Future during like COVID times. Like rewatched them again on my DVD player. That like my TV is like DVD player's like not even set up right now. I just don't. I have a computer and I have a phone, so that's plenty. Like I don't need a TV in here. And I was just watching it around that time, like rewatching the trilogy, and just got reminded of how much I liked it. And that final song I used in the POV cut you watched was called "Aren't You a Sight for Sore Eyes" by Bones. And the line that Marty says to Jennifer, I think, is like, "Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?" And then it cuts into that scene of that cut with that song. So it's kind of like when I was watching the movie during COVID times, it was sick. And I'd been listening to that Bones song that's called "Aren't You a Sight for Sore Eyes?" And he said the line on the screen. I was like, "Yo, that's that Bones song!" Like what? Like, and I was just hyped to use it because I enjoyed that song, and it's just a little something to tie in the video. Yeah,
another synchronicity point sounds like, and then it just fell into the timing of your announcement of that video. So you're like, all right, this has been around me right now, so put it in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just sometimes things just work out like that, especially with editing. I find you just like, I'll have some weird idea, just throw a clip in there, and you're like, wow, that's actually fucking perfect.
I think Fred edited mine. He was probably, maybe he thought it was cool, but he's probably like, why is this dude sending me a video clip for his Kendama edit? Like, I don't want to watch this, bro. Like, just send me the tricks. Like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, what is this, B-roll? Is your uncle? What the fuck?
Right.
80s movie, bro. Get it out of here.
So Dylan, what's your feeling of YouTube edits versus Instagram when you're like watching? Because you grew up again 2014, back when like I feel like Instagram was coming up, but still there was a lot of effort. Like, of course, there's a lot of effort now with YouTube videos, but more so, I think, in the past.
I think currently I probably watch more Instagram clips because that's where people are posting them. I'll probably go on YouTube once a month and maybe try to catch up on some edits. But when the majority of stuff's on Instagram and people link their stuff there, I mean, I'm just like with the trend. I'm on Instagram watching clips too. But I mean, I watch a ton of YouTube videos, YouTube Kendama edits, and I have like a fat playlist of some of my favorite videos I've watched over the years that I love to look back at and get inspiration. I think YouTube edits are more of a permanent marking of what you did with Kendama, like an Instagram clip, like of a reel with like some silly like Playboy Cardi songs, not really going to be something for people to like look back at and like remember, but like a Kendama edit that's like presented fully and it's in an edit, like showcasing you and your tricks or whatever you're trying to put in this video can really be a more of a memory of who you were as a Kendama player. So I think like they have like a longer lasting impact. Like the 2015 YouTube edits I made are so much more special to me than the 2015 banger with no music, like just like quad tap or something.
It is like you just mentioned, right? YouTube, you can search for shit. You can go back and find stuff. Instagram, you got to do scrolling. It's like, it's in that moment right there. It's cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like Instagram's convenient when it's fresh, but when it's not fresh, it's very inconvenient.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You said you're a fan of Instagram. You use it. It's convenient. I agree. I see plenty of people who are like, here's my favorite trick from the edit that drops like last week. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't watch the edit yet, so I don't want to watch it. I'm the dude who's like, don't show me the trailer of the video. I don't want to read the back fucking description of the video of what it's going to be like. I want to go in fully fresh of not knowing
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So Instagram. I heard, Dylan, you have some meme accounts on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Have, I think, a singular public meme account. Yeah.
Oh. I
mean, like, just like another meme account, like for homies. Nothing, like, just Dama is, I'm pretty sure what you're referring to.
So how did that start? What's your goal?
Well, if you go deep enough, I think I made this account specifically to like separate my Kendama clips from my main Instagram at one point, when I was a 14-year-old trying to be cool. So I would like post them on a different account, Kendama. And so if you go to the bottom of that page, there's just like the grommiest, like young Dwesty clips you could see on Instagram, probably like younger than if you scroll to the bottom of Dwesty. So it's actually
I looked at your very first Dwesty post and it was like, this was my first post. If you want to see old Dama clips, go to the bottom of this Kendama.
Gosh, sounds like something I would have done.
Oh, you did.
Kendama. Yeah. Now it's just turned into like just a disaster of like random Kendama posts of just the most outlandish stuff you've seen at Kendama events. Not really. It's pretty PG-13. It's just like people just messing around, like getting trolled, like up close pictures and just on genuinely stupid stuff that I decided to share and put out on the internet.
Are you active on that a lot?
No, like it's like very few and far in between when I upload something that I think is worthy.
You gotta wait for that good moment and get the good shit. You can't just be uploading everything.
Can't be just forcing it, bro.
Do you follow accounts that I think there's a few. There was a few, right? There was a few other ones that were like more
like Kendama meme accounts. You mean?
Yeah. Well, I think there was two. I can't think of it, but like from like last year,
Yankwood lick bevels.
Yes. And
then there was like, what is it? Dad's Dama memes or something like that.
Yeah.
Or your dad's Dama memes. There was another one too. Fuck, what was the other one that? Oh, what the hell is it? Damn it.
So do you think, Dylan, you think that there should be more? Do you enjoy those?
No. So mine was like, some of those accounts you're referring to were kind of like meme formats. Mine are just, they can be qualified as memes, but it's more just me sharing stuff straight from my camera roll, not trying to do too much. Sure, I've done some silly edits with like some stupid filter or something, but not really putting too much work into it. Kind of just like sharing what's on my phone, what's from an event that was worth a laugh.
Right. Like there's that golf one, right? It's similar to that, just like things.
Both moments.
Yeah, both moments.
Yeah, like that's a great one. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Fucking hot dog one is so good. The hot dog clip. Okay, so you say you don't spend so much time on that, but it's on that like side of meme being funny. But you did put a lot of time when you made shit Kendama players say the video on YouTube, which is possibly has the most views on your channel.
maybe on my channel. Yeah, that's just there's this video. Did you watch it in full? That video is so funny. But I
believed I watched it when it came out because it was circulating.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So that was just in the description. I explained that there was a video called "Shit Baseball Players Say." And it was just making fun of stuff baseball players would say, very stereotyping baseball players and just making fun of the stuff they say on a day-to-day basis. So I just started coming up with a list of I was 15 and I made this video of just a list of dumb stuff Kendama players say and just scheming on what would work for maybe a couple weeks. And then that final night when we were with my homies filming it, just adding the last couple ones. And I should make a part 2 because I could probably think of so many more now.
You can add. You should totally make a part 2. That would
shit. Kendama players still say.
What was your favorite one?
I think. I don't even know if people. It doesn't matter. It's a pretty stereotype Kendama thing to say. I think I had my homie say to me, "Want to play a game of Ken?" And I said, "Nah, bro, MKO last week," and I slapped my knees, Dama knees, got the Dama knees, just because every Dama player be having Dama knees, it seems like. So that's one that sticks out. Or I think there might have been somebody did something similar to this, but we have I think I start in the room first on the far right side of the camera, and I miss the airplane, and I'm just standing there adjusting my string like this, and then the next homie comes in and pulls up an airplane and misses, and we're all just standing there trying to fix our strings with the beads back in the day, the struggle of just yanking on them.
Yes,
dude, I still do that.
Yeah. We're still it's ingrained. Yeah, in your muscle memory to just you got to reset. You give it a little yank.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I do it even with the beads or with the bearings and shit too. Yeah. And the beads. I don't know. It works better, I swear.
With the bearings, because they're heavier.
I think it does.
No. I mean, I just mean it works better than just the bearing. The bearing's supposed to keep your shit untangled, right? And it's you can kind of do one of these, and it kind of does it. But you gotta reset that bitch. Pop her out a little bit.
I feel like I have some rusty bearings here and there because.
You got to make some speed cream for fucking Dama bearings, buddy.
Yeah. You give it a little.
You can sell just a little bottle, just a little bottle. It'll be the same thing as the one you get for your skateboard bearings, but just a little guy.
In a fucking nail polish. So you just brush it on.
Oh, there you go. A little dripper. You can drip it. You can do it through the top of the Dama.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go.
Oh, buddy, we're gonna have to edit this part out. We can't be putting this out to the world.
Someone's gonna make this in 6 months. You know where you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Are you back in Canada, Rod? Or are you?
I am for now. Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, grinding my ass off, working and making some Damas and shit to go to Europe on Tuesday. Actually, in 4 or 5 days, I leave.
Ooh. Hell yeah, dude! That's epic. Well, that's gonna be so sick, dude. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah. Yeah, I was just watching the Euro Tour video of you guys there, and I saw how much fun you guys were having. And I was I can't wait to go. It got me all hyped. Yeah,
that's smart.
Right. It's been a while.
A bunch of the faces I'm going to be seeing were in that video for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to Europe since fucking 2015, maybe 2016.
Dang.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah,
too long. It's time to go back. It is a bummer to miss KWC, but what do you do, right?
I think there's a lot of people who are going to miss it. Who just chose.
Yeah, I heard there was not many people going.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird restrictions still in Japan of
it's
allowing
very
people
weird,
in.
Man.
Yeah,
you have to get a letter from GlowCan. They have to do some paperwork and shit.
It's a sponsorship.
You're only allowed to stay for a week. You're obviously going to have to wear a mask at all times, everywhere in the summer of Japan.
Yeah, it's
that alone. It's
Is there? No, yeah, there is still, I guess, a rule, not like a hardcore mandate, not like in some countries in the past where they were like giving you tickets if you weren't. But, you guys know Japan. Everyone follows the rules. Everyone's, trying to keep all the peace. So you don't want to cause a ruckus. So if there's just a sign in the building or at the entrance of the building that says, please keep your masks on, of course, that's what everyone's going to do. I believe, even if when it goes away.
I don't mind that. It's just like the heat in Japan and shit is like my thing, I'm not like an anti-masker or anything by any means. I don't give a shit what you got on your face. If you want to wear one, fucking wear one.
Yeah, but no, when you got like facial hair, dude, especially this long ass stash, it sucks so much. I'm always like going in my mouth.
It's not great.
Like every 5 minutes,
I don't know how you deal with that.
Fix it.
If when I chew on my mustache, I lose my shit. I'm like, I drop my food right there and I go cut the shit. I swear. I'm like, fuck this. No, can't do it.
It was like, if you have some pancakes and like maple syrup gets on that shit, it's like a little snack for later,
Oh yeah, free
additive flavor.
Is that how you do it? You got fucking waffles in the morning, just fucking. I guess you said pancakes. Sorry.
Yeah. The waffles are dope. They take a little more time to make though.
Yeah. You got to get artsy with that thing, buddy. Salvador Dali it out.
Oh, I've tried in the past. It's such a pain in the ass. Just fucking
I'll get you some good Canadian maple syrup, buddy. I'll do it in no time.
What do you call it? Like grade? Is it grades? A's?
Great. Some fucking grade A maple syrup.
Yeah. Amber and shit. You go by colors?
Oh, it's amber.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that much about it. I just, it's good. Never had a maple syrup I didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Let's stop with the shit talk.
Anyways.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned the Krom tour, the Euro tour, I should say.
Yes.
Dude, Ben, who put that together, applaud, because that shit was so awesome to watch. So on the levels of like where we are, vibes with the storytelling, the cinematography, and just following along your path as a Kendama player. And possibly, was it your first time, Dylan, in Europe?
Pretty much. I don't really count my Latvia trip. Like Latvia's
shit.
Latvia's just kind of weird. So, but whatever, it counts my first time.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God.
Latvia was first. I thought that you went to Latvia after that for some reason.
No, that was KUSA times. Yeah.
It was a KUSA
I went there
trip.
with Skag. Yeah, I went there with Skag.
Oh my gosh! Well, let's hook right over to that, because Latvia must have been crazy. That the community saw how crazy it was. It was like 2013, 14 Hawaii type shit, but on a much grander scale, as well as the language barrier. So, how did you feel? I mean, I even remember like hearing about like some Kendama wars happening of the different like distributors in Latvia being very sweets teams, like KUSA.
Dude, they were like, they would beef. Yeah, they were trying to take control of the market, bro. They were like not like for the community. They were like trying to like, if you rep sweets, you got to stay at this shop. Like, we don't want Krom in this shop. We don't want KUSA in this shop. Like, sweets only in this shop. Like, they were super divided and not creating a community that would last more than what did it last? Like less than a year. So obviously didn't really go anywhere, but man, that was crazy seeing like a mall full of like so many kids with Kendamas in Latvia. That was just insane. Honestly, that event. I didn't have to obviously host any of that event, but just getting to watch it from the outside and seeing so many kids in a Kendama and just hoping that some of them are still playing, but that was 2019. I don't know. I know like Kendamas, I think, is out of Latvia. So I guess there's
I thought they were Russian.
Yeah.
Russia.
They
are? Shit.
I thought so.
Probably. You're probably right.
I could be wrong.
I believe so.
I could be wrong. I don't know where I put my phone, or I would double check. Oh, there it is.
But it seemed, Latvia seems like ridiculous. Like, I remember, I forgot who it was. Maybe, who was it? It could have even been Kendama Goat, because he was there for some reason. Talking about like how ridiculous it was, and like seeing for the first time, seeing like honed cups, as we've talked about in the past. Rod, a lot of the kids here in Japan, you see a lot of honed cups.
Oh yeah, that's one way to put it. Honed as fuck. Honed to the point of like they're not honed
you think
anymore.
It's all got to it. Yeah.
It's not a cup anymore.
Did you spend like hours seeking pictures, Dylan? Like signing damas?
Yeah, I got to sign some stuff for sure. I have this.
You're right. They are from Latvia for the record.
Oh shit! There you go, Latvia.
But yeah, I got to sign some stuff and take some photos, and I really enjoyed my time there. Getting to hang out with Skags was cool, and it was just like a week trip, I think, and they put us at a pretty decent hotel, it seemed, and it was a funny first experience in Europe. It seemed it was just a lot different than the Euro tour, like Latvia. It's hard for me to explain the significant differences, but Latvia was just there's like a political term for it that I don't know, but it was a cool experience.
I'd imagine just culturally alone would be very different. Latvia versus like you were in like Belgium and France and Spain, and I think, did you go to Denmark?
Yeah.
So like all those places are culturally very different, right?
Yeah.
And Latvia being very far from the rest of them, I think.
Yeah. They're kind of on their own things. Yeah, the Euro tour was for sure the Europe experience that I'll cherish forever. That was excited to see some really cool places there.
So let's hear from your side of it, because again, it was made very well as someone watching, not only from the outside seeing what it was like, but also kind of gave you a perspective of if like the viewer in the shoes of you guys being there. It starts off like explaining here's a bunch of guys, but it started off being like kind of cool, and then actually we realized once we were all sweaty and couldn't find a shower, this kind of sucks. This tour life, this band life. Yeah. Actually was really excited about it, but here's this different aspect didn't think about. So what was your perspective, Dylan? How of course you mentioned it was awesome, but let's hear it.
I'll give some credit to Tebow and Bonds to start. I mean, the trip wouldn't have been possible without Tebow because of his connections, being in the European scene for a decade already at the time when we were there. So he had so many spots for us to crash a night or two, and we were in different cities, which was cool to get a break from the van life. And Bonds, on the other hand, was I fed off his energy like totally. He's we both know that those trips are we're incredibly grateful for them, and they're special and they're once in a lifetime. So it's just like, how could you not live every day to the fullest? Like, we were just sending it and having so much fun. And it was a long time to get to be out there. And it was incredible, dude. I'm so glad that the Krom took the time to make all those stops, and shout out to Ulrich too for having a big part in getting all the connections for the shops we stopped at, the lots of scooter and BMX shops and clothing shops and so many different events within that were pre-planned, and it all turned out super well. We got to stop these different locations and pop in and out of there, have certain stops that were popping off, some that were not so much, but it was all such a cool experience to get to be in that and living the van life in Europe.
What was the best and worst part about the Nugget?
Worst part was probably no shower. I can remember my first shower. I was getting kind of grumpy. Like, there should be a word for that, but there's not, because people usually just take showers when they want to take a shower. But like, I was gonna, like, there's hangry, but it's like I was like something else.
Hangry, exactly. Yeah.
So like we're probably like 3 days.
There's
deep.
no cute word. I just need a fucking shower.
Yeah. Like, you feel, you're just grimy. You feel just so disgusted.
The van smelled like the fridge at the end, like with some rotten like just like vegetables and like fruit and like meat that fell at the bottom, like was left a stench, bro. I can't even explain that.
What was the deal with that that baguette that Bond just kept?
Oh yeah, we had like this baguette. Yeah, I mean, we were all about the baguettes that trip. Obviously, majority of the time we spent in France, so we're just being American tourists, just nerding out on baguettes and just
striped shirts, cigarettes, berets,
like smoking cigs, like just like some fools. Like the Europeans are way too comfortable with their tobacco use, but it's a different story. That was just so fun to get to be out there. And I guess, not getting the shower. Like I remember that first shot, I can't really remember too many times of desperation where I needed to shower, like very vividly, but I remember I hadn't showered since my plane flight. So it was like 3 days in and I had the travel juice on me still. I'm like, bro, I need to shower bad. Like, so we like schemed on this gym. Like we just mobbed we were in Brussels and we just looking at gyms, trying to find a free shower. And luckily we found one. It was glorious. It might've been cold. Didn't even matter. It was amazing. It was fun, dude. It was an experience like no other.
So what was the good part about the Nugget?
Oh yeah,
the van.
Best part of the Nugget was all the places it took us. That Nugget kept rolling no matter what. We got the squad together the next morning and we were off to the next spot. So it was super fun. I didn't have to drive ever. The three others were driving, so it was sick. I never had to drive, so it's like we got a long ride. It's nap time. Trying to refuel. So when we get to the destination, I'm ready to pop out and see what's up.
Yeah, which is actually pretty important as like you're in a way like the performers. You know, you're like the Mickey Mouse at
the talent.
Yeah, right. So it's like if that's a lot of shit.
Keep those hands you guys fresh. No.
Yeah, to be driving hours on hours through different country borders and shit.
I was putting my arm on ice in the back. Like I
just thought of something stupid. Sorry, I was gonna say you got to be like Squizgar in fucking Metalocalypse, where he has his hands insured and they have to be like in a glass case because his hands are too important because he's the guitar player.
But no, that is important. So why didn't you drive? Did you need an international license? You just didn't get one?
It was because it was stick shift.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know. Can you drive a stick shift now?
No, I can't. No, this is just last year, so bro.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Got the automatic.
Yeah.
I can.
That
leave my hands so I can like eat and like drink water and stuff.
It is convenient. Yeah, that is true.
Kids these days.
But no, I mean, dude, you use your legs on the steering wheel.
Just kidding.
Use your knee, to push on the bottom.
It'd be a useful skill.
Oh, hell yeah.
I should learn.
No, it's fun to drive stick shift. Honestly, I kind of enjoy it.
It's like playing an old TK16. There's some slip. There's a lot of slip in there. There's extra challenge. Okay, so you weren't driving, so that's really a plus because it looked like you guys were logging a lot of hours, a lot of kilometers on that shit.
Yeah.
But you guys had like a kitchen and like shit in there, right? Like you could cook in the van.
Yeah, there was a little stove. I don't think we used it that much, but I don't know. There was a sink, but like at one point we stopped filling the water tank, so we didn't have water. We didn't even have a sink anymore. And then
it didn't look like it was easy to fill.
I think we we filled it once and maybe just didn't get around to finding a spot or something easy on the way. It just kind of got left in the dust while we were out.
Oh damn! I was gonna say all the tours I've been on, I've never had like a fridge and shit. It's just like you have like a dirty sack of fucking bananas and whatever the hell else you got, just like sitting in the back, hopefully not being crushed by all the gear, and then pile in there with a bunch of sweaty dudes and shoulder to shoulder. You're like, fuck, are we there yet?
It was a good Nugget. It had some good features, like the way the top would pop up and had two sleeping on the top, two sleeping on the bottom. So, there's some space. It worked. It did the job. Mm-hmm. Certainly, it was the Nugget.
Yeah. No, that's it. Did seem really cool. There was a lot of like I've never seen a van like that, like a small kind of van that is almost like an RV. So it was seemed perfect for that trip.
So European.
Yeah. With all the countries right next to each other. Yeah. That's such a dope thing about Europe. Like to be able to go travel and the country right next to the one that you were at just has such a different culture, different background, so many different things, foods, music, people. So cool. I can't wait. Did you have a favorite stop?
A favorite stop. I think Barcelona was cool. For many reasons, but one being we all pitched in for Airbnb, so we got to park the Nugget for like 5 days because we were there it was one of our longer stays, and our only stay in Spain. So we got to kind of post up there and have our own Airbnb. So that was probably my favorite stop. But I just wanted to say quickly, anyone that came out to the tour stop is like what made it all worth it. Like having Kendama players to meet in different cities and them getting to show us bits of their city or whatever they could was like the most epic part. Like, I'm sure this has been said on the podcast before, but Kendama makes traveling so fun. Obviously, we're traveling to places where Kendama players are active and play, so we're bound to run into them, and they're always so kind and welcoming and take you with open arms and show you what's up in their city and are just so homey like immediately. And it's so cool to have that connection with Kendama. It makes traveling like so cool. And even if I somehow get to go back to Europe on my own, I have made connections and know there's certain players, and no matter who you are, Kendama players will come through if you spread the word and get out there. So it's so cool. The connection Kendama creates is something else.
Yeah. You see the country through the eyes of the local, and that's something that is pretty rare when you're traveling to another country. Yeah.
Like that's not something you can just have a connection with. Like it's crazy the way Kendama connects people.
Yeah. And that's in such like an open, like friendly way.
Beautiful.
There's plenty of other communities out there, but I don't know why, because there's so many different walks of people who get into Kendama, but then at the same time, those people are usually so open. Like, yeah, like, I don't know who the hell this, I don't know, like, just be like, yeah, you can stay at my place. I don't know who the hell you are. Like, because maybe, I've seen you online, maybe we're friends through the internet and shit, but still there's like more of an, that's probably a big part of it. Now that I'm saying that connection through the internet,
the internet thing.
Getting to know someone.
Maybe talk through DM a little bit. You like see videos, have heard their voice once or twice, maybe. Yeah. It's not a complete stranger.
Yes. So then they just welcome you, like open arms, just like, come hang out. Like, I'll take you around. Let me know when you're coming. Oh, and of course.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And of course I was going to say, Barcelona, it seemed like you, there was a time towards the end of the video where you disappeared, Dylan. They couldn't find you. They were like, we need to get going. Where's Dwesty? Where were you, Dwesty?
In Barcelona? I don't remember. In Barcelona, I wasn't really lost. Like, I'm kind of thinking of what you're talking about in the video. Maybe there was more than once.
As the viewer,
Barcelona.
As a viewer, it seemed like there was like, and again, why the video was so awesome to watch and why it was so amazing was the storytelling, the explanation of you guys, and like also like bringing the camera with you to feel, not only see what you're seeing, but to feel the feelings you're seeing. And I felt like, with all great movies, there's plot twists, there's action, and there's also romance. And I felt like there was a bit of a romance in there, and it was connected directly with you, Dylan. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, no, you're not wrong. For sure, I got super lucky, like meeting this girl early in the trip, like in Brussels, completely on the street playing Kendama. Them coming up to me in bonds, like asking, like, "What is that? Like, what are you doing?" Like their genuine curiosity as anyone who's not afraid to ask, like, is probably just as curious as they were. Like, you look goofy playing on the street with your toy, like, what is that? So we just came up, said what's up, like told them why we were here, what we were doing, and like, so yeah, I started hanging out there in Brussels, and I knew I was going to be in Europe for like 4 or 5 more weeks at that point. So I was able to invite her to a couple stops later in the trip, and we got to spend more time together. So that was super cool for sure. I was just like right place, right time, like running into her in Brussels on one of the early days of the trip. Probably that was like one of our first stops at a big city. So it was like, and it was a Friday night. We were like, I think our goal that night was like, we're going to try to get 100 spikes. So we're out here trying to get like, we got like 18 or something. We like bailed pretty quickly. We were just ended up like at this rooftop bar with like a dope view of like Brussels, like an incredible view at this sweet spot. So
also, you're in fucking Belgium. Like, that is my goal, to go just as a beer drinker, because the amount of beer that they have, my favorite beers come from Belgium. And it's like, that's the place. If you're a beer drinker, you go. It's like a Kendama player, you're a Kendama player, where do you go? Japan. Beer drinker? Unless, depending on what style you like, maybe some people are like, I'm going to go to Germany.
There's a lot of,
yeah, I'm on the Belgian side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different beers from all over the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beer
not that boast like over 1,000 different styles of beer. I
mean, some places have a deeper history than others.
Well, yeah.
For sure. For sure. There's no debating that.
So there was a lot of shit, like Bonds losing his phone, thinking it was gone for a while. That's like, the tragedy part of the story. But you were lost, right? I forgot. I watched it a while ago. Rod, you remember that spot?
Yeah, I watched it earlier, but I don't remember that part. I must have got distracted during that part.
It was like towards the end. I think like you needed to get going, like to catch your flight or something. Because you left, Dylan, what was that? From the Krom shop?
Yeah, but at that point, like I was like one of the last of the squad there. Like I was solo to the airport that morning. Like it was like a quiet morning, like getting ready to go to the airport. Like nobody was filming me that day. So I think I know what you're talking about. And it was probably him kind of just dragging it on for the story, as there has, as you mentioned, there's a plot and you want to have plot twists and all that, like him kind of dragging it out. But I wasn't like that lost. Like I was surviving. I got by. I made it back to the van.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there was a lot of side stuff that seemed like it like if you were following on Instagram, people who are following like you and Bonds and stuff, like you could see the different side stories. Someone should put it all together.
Bonds still has like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because I remember following Bonds specifically just because he was, at the spot at the time up showing what he was doing. And it seemed like there was a lot of times where he's just sending it, going somewhere. I don't know where the hell, find a shit.
Bonds
like
missions.
He has no filter on there. He has like still like 14, like Euro part 1, 2, 3, up to 14 on his story highlights. And if you watch those, like, it's basically the same as like going to Europe. You're basically like with us. Like, so you can kind of get like a pretty inside scoop of like exactly what Bonds was doing at like any given moment. He just whips out his phone. He just, with his big ass phones, like as big as his face. And he's just like holding it out, like recording everybody.
You're using like tablet or some shit. And then no wonder I got stolen. It was massive. Someone's like, oh, look at that thing. It's got to be worth money.
It's a big screen TV in this guy's pocket.
Yeah.
No, but that dude in Toulouse who stole Bonds' phone apparently stole like 20 or 30 phones. Like the police had like hella phones that dude caught that night. Like he got caught and luckily Bonds got his stuff back. But a bunch of people's phones got stolen. Like this dude was scheming hard, bro. He was out there raking them in, bro. Like what?
That's crazy.
Was there any point in that trip where you were like worried?
Yeah, it was very little worry. Like it's hard to, sure there's ups and downs, but one like intense moment that is worth a storytelling. That really like, I think I kept a journal my whole time I was there I haven't looked at it probably since when I got back, but I tried to write down what I did every day because I've been on Kendama trips before and I realized how quickly you forget exactly what you were doing every single day. But this one I just can remember because it was so vivid and so just got my blood pumping. But we're on the freeway leaving Switzerland. We had to stop in Switzerland, which was cool. I wish I could have seen more of Switzerland, but besides the point, we're going back from Switzerland, going back over to France. And there was like a beautiful scenic drive that we were on. And Ben, the guy who created our video and filmed everything, he had brought a drone and we're on the freeway and he's like, I want to get this drone shot. Like, but we're like on the freeway and there's nowhere to like really get it done. So we're like, not me. I didn't decide this. Ben decided this. Tebow's like in the backseat, like, bro, you guys should not be doing this. Like, do not do this. But Ben,
the Euro guy is telling you not to do it.
Yes, like don't do what you're doing on the freeway. So he's like decides to fly his drone like outside our van and try to just drive like 15 miles per hour because apparently that's about how fast the drone can go and just kind of screwing over other people, like people having to go around us. But we're like driving next to the drone. The drone's like outside the whip on the freeway, like recording us. But I should have ended the story with this, but ended up all this that I'm about to go through ended up in like one of the most incredible video shots with a drone that I've ever seen, especially like being on that trip. It was an incredible shot of like the Nugget, just like with this crazy scenery. Like it's an amazing shot, but so risky to get it. So eventually we're driving next.
Did he take, I don't know what it's called. Did the drone take off like from someone's hand and just while you were driving, or you stopped the car, started flying it and then went?
I think we did find a spot to stop initially, and we pulled over to get it running. We started the drone, started the van, decided to try to drive and keep the van in distance of the drone to keep connection so you can control it still.
Yeah.
And we end up having to go too fast, maybe because there's people on our asses because we're literally on the freeway or whatever.
Yeah. And people in Europe drive, connection. They like driving quick.
Yeah, and he like loses connection to the drone. And it's like a couple $1,000 drone, and we're like, oh fuck, did you just lose the drone, bro? And like we're stopped on the freeway because he's like, I have to get connection back. I can't lose my drone, dude. Like, and now we're stopped on the freeway. Tebow's like looking over his shoulder, like, dude, you guys cannot be doing this. Like, this is not okay. Like, cars are like big old trucks are having to go around us. We're like halfway in the lane. Like, there's not even like a shoulder to be completely off in. We're like half the whips like in a lane of the freeway, and we're stopped there, like on a kind of just beyond this corner. Like, it was not chill. Tebow's like, dude, we gotta go. Like, this is not okay. It was just super intense, adrenaline pumping. Eventually, he obviously gets the drone back, and the show goes on, and we made it out that freeway. But that was just especially with Tebow, you know, the local being like, dude, this is not okay. Like, I wish I could do a better Tebow voice. Like, you talk so cool, but like
for everyone who watched
I'm not
video,
even trying,
who they called Billy the whole time.
Billy,
that's Tebow. Yeah.
Billy.
Do you remember how long
Billy.
you were there on like stopped? It was one of those moments where it's like it was 3 minutes, but it felt like 30 or like
probably something like that. Probably like a minute and felt like 5. Like it was pretty intense, and just Tebow like getting all mad at the dumb Americans for fooling around on the freeway. Like, bro, fucking drive. Like, what are you doing? Like, like Jesus.
But you got the shot.
We got the shot though, yeah.
Got the shot and got the drone back.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That was so there were some ups and downs, but man, that trip was I was very fortunate to be a part of. Bonds was probably the reason why it was even possible, because I mean, a 4-time world champion is pretty easy to advertise, like even if you don't know what Kendama is. So that's like a great part to getting to go on a tour with Bonds. He obviously brings in a ton of people. Like, people would go right up to Bonds even at some times and have them sign the Kendamas, and like I wasn't even there, which I completely understand. Like, Bonds is on another level of like international reach, being a world champion 4 times. Like, you can really bring in a different type of crowd, like people that don't even follow Kendama. Like, this is you're a world champ. Like, Jesus, bro. Like, so it's so like mad respect to him. He earned it, and it's so cool that I got to be the second piece of that. Like, he was
join the ride,
the main attraction.
It's awesome that Krom did that, because you know, not only you have your journal for your personal memories, but you can use that video as well.
Oh yeah.
Did your family watch it? Like, asking you, Dylan, how was it? And you're just like, oh, watch the video.
Yeah. I was kind of hyping it up. Like, I'd like, if I can get a quick phone call in, be like, hey mom, like, it's going good. We've been working on this video. Like, it's going to be super sick. I'll show you when we get back. Like, trying to maybe like giving them something to look forward to. So when they did come out, I was very excited to like show them, like, because it's a very well put together story of what we were up to. So it was, I'm super glad that was a part of the trip, making sure that Ben was there to capture the moments for sure.
Yeah.
Your mom must have been excited to see the Belgian girl. Who is this, Dylan? I could just see my mom would lose her shit in a good way.
Yeah, dude. It was cool.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like the big one. Again, like you said, from your other trips, experiences, traveling around the world, Japan, Latvia, all around Europe, around the US a bit for the Creep It Real. Which one it was the best?
Yeah, I have to give it to the Euro tour with that squad, and places I saw more countries that trip than I'd seen like combined my whole life before. So it was just like so much more, so much than I could ever ask for. Like I can't even, it's like a dream. Like I can't believe it even happened. Especially, I mean, yeah, Krom is definitely another reason. Their connection to the European scene is obviously very much greater than the Kendama USA. So that was so cool to be a part of that just the next year after joining the team, especially with all the trips that were lost. It was weird because it seemed like a lot of my Dama trips, were a week or 4 days. MKO, KWC was like, I would only go for like 9 days, and to not really be on that normal schedule anymore from COVID because we all lost those events. And I wasn't really traveling much at that point when Krom proposed the Euro trip. So it was kind of like not a lot of trips. Boom. Like you have this fat end of a trip to go on. And I was so lucky to be in the right place, right time. And Krom gave me that opportunity. It was incredible.
Yeah. Were your parents a little worried about international travel at that time? Or you?
No, they weren't. I mean, I went to Japan by myself. I mean, with the Kendama USA team when I was 16. So my parents had been fine with it before, and they knew that
the whole this new world that we're in of COVID and shit.
Oh,
that takes a different twist on it.
Yeah, true.
It is a different thing. Yeah.
I got obviously vaccines aren't 100%, but
you got COVID on that trip.
No,
I just remember you guys got fucking sick, huh?
We got sick. Yeah, we got sick like maybe a couple of times. Like there was some shit going around.
Yeah.
we made it out. We were kind of hag, bro. Meeting so many people, like just all over the place. Like, yeah. But I was vaccinated, so hopefully that helped or something.
Yeah. It makes there's a bunch of shit. I mean, no one's getting away from it. The whole world has already been dipped in the shit.
It's true.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna get it one day. It's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And that's like your mods for Krom came out a little bit before that time. Yeah. Yeah, the bamboos came out towards the end of the trip, so it was cool getting a stack footy with them during the trip, kind of the low-key session, pulling out of the bag, stacking some clips. I mean, Bonds was openly sessioning them for well before, which is chill. It was great promo. Just filming tons on them. But yeah, that wasn't my first Krom mod. The bamboo was like the second edition, the bamboo edition, I guess. But it was super cool to have obviously a bamboo Pro model release while I was out there and getting to rep it and rip on it while I was there. It was super tight. What's was there ever an explanation of your design for the DJ mods?
I have it right here actually, but no, there wasn't really like much of an explanation. We were lucky enough to work with Oliver, who I actually got to meet on that tour in Belgium, which was super cool.
What's his handle? Like the guy. I forgot what it was.
Oh yeah, what's it?
It's not Oliver.
I forget his handle, but
he's done stuff for Krom in the past. A lot of graphic design stuff. Yeah. More than I had known. He had. I was talking to them there. I think I learned that he had been doing it for a while, but my connection was obviously getting to work with him through the mod. So he made that process much different than my experience with Kendama USA. I was very more on my own in terms of creating a product, and he really helped us with just giving us lots to look at and choose from. And this pattern, I don't know how exactly it came to fruition, but we came up with this, and I like the simplicity of it. I don't want to do too much, and I liked how it turned out. I wanted red on it because that's my favorite color, and I like how it turned out. I think it's cool when people have very personalized pro models that mean so much to them. And I think I kind of hit that with my first one. So this one wasn't. I was kind of going for a nice look, and I wasn't super inspired to put anything crazy on there or go too out there. So just trying to create a product that I like and hope other people would like. What was I know that, Easy and Rolf had that different type of Dama. I forgot what kind of Dama was that?
Walnut, wasn't it?
No, something different.
So Rolf had a Sapel Dama, which I really don't know much about. Like I haven't.
It's kind of like mahogany.
Okay. Easy, I think he might have a split wood. I think it might be walnut Is it all walnut or is it walnut and beach?
Oh,
I think it's half walnut.
oh shit. Yeah, the top is painted.
And then he also has the beach Ken.
Or bottom.
So okay. Yeah.
The bevel's beach, is it not?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't even, it's got to be half and half.
Yeah.
Can you see the line if you look deep in the hole? Can you see it?
I can see it.
Fucking CSI moments right now.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Get that magnifying glass out.
So did you, well, like maybe not, you mentioned before, care about like the wood?
I wanted maple. I mean, like, yeah, for most of my kendamas, I want to play maple. So my first run was maple, but bamboo.
Maple on maple? You like maple tamas?
Maple. I think I did do maple on maple. Yeah, I'm down to jam maple tamas. Like beach is probably the community's favorite, and I think it's solid too. But I'm down for maple.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the maple on maple setup.
For me, when I looked at the design, I thought that black and white kind of pattern under the red stripe was similar to, those like those notebooks that you get in school. You know those notebooks I'm talking about? Like the cover has that that weird kind of not camo, but yeah. And I was like, is that like his the throwback to like his youth or some shit? That's like how he's in school? I'm like, that's cool.
That's so funny. I never once thought that. I thought, if anything, I was thinking either like TV static, which after you're saying like I don't even watch TV, you just sesh Dama, so that doesn't make sense. So it's like either that or like grip tape were the two things I thought.
Oh yeah.
I definitely had at least one person in Europe came up to me and be like, "Yo, that's Gucci. Like, what? That's like a Gucci Tama or like what?"
Oh shit!
Like, I don't know anything about Gucci or like any product they've ever put out. So like, I guess I wonder. Like, what's up? I got the Gucci mod. You already know. Like, I read it.
Like, there you go. Add a couple bucks onto that mod, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, my promo represents Gucci, my favorite brand. I use all my royalties by Gucci. It's all I rep.
There you go.
Oliver did do a good job because I didn't know how much he gave you guys the options to do something with it, because they do look good in the lineup next to each other. They don't see so far off, but they're not like exactly the same. Like if you think about the old, like, what was it? The 4 Sweets Pro, like when it was Sweets, Fraser, Cooper, Norks, Willie P, like they had that 5 lineup and they were all the same. Like it was just a different color fade for them.
They had like the 5 stripes on the spike.
Yeah. And it was cool, like
same thing with the Terra Pro mods too. Before the most recent ones, the Natura mods were all the same, just different colors.
Yes.
The DJ mods, my favorite part about it is the little caricature of you guys, like each of you is like actually
the
on your
cutout in the stand. Yeah, you could actually you could have a little figure on your desk.
Yeah.
How many Dylan figures do your parents have on like on the fireplace?
I don't think they have any. They got a DJ mod like in the box. It used to be by the fireplace. Now it's like on a table in the same room. But yeah, I got the DJ mod rep, and they don't have the cutout set up though. But yeah, it's funny. Like within the packaging and including the one on the Kendama, there's like 3. There's like the sticker, the cutout, and the one on the dom. So it's just like a bunch of my face. It's kind of overwhelming. Like I probably wouldn't have like. It was so as our Tamas were very different. Obviously, the thing that was in uniform that you just mentioned was the characters on the Ken. So I probably wouldn't have done that if it wasn't in the series. Like I wouldn't have been like, yeah, I want my fucking face on this mod, bro. Like put that on. Like I would not have chose to do that. Like it's cool, and it's very. I remember TK and Krom were trying to do something very personal, and it is extremely personal. But
it is personal.
I'm like hella serious in my picture. Like I don't know. It's not my favorite to have my face on there, but I was honored to be a part of that series for sure.
Yeah. Are you cool that it's a long hair, Dylan? Long hair version?
Yeah, it's chill. That was like COVID hair. I remember like the barbers were closed and shit. Like I was like hagging.
Can we get any back behind the scenes? When's the new lineup coming?
When's the next Euro tour?
Krom's always awesome with redoing like signature or whatever pro mods like more frequently than a lot of other companies. Almost like like skateboards or like snowboards or something. It's really cool. almost like every year or a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
Anything? If you
Who
share?
knows? You have to wait and see.
One of those answers. I get you. Okay.
Oh.
We shall wait and see. But but Krom is always fucking insane. It like in the past, I forget, maybe like from the past like 6 months or something, they've taken it down a little bit, but almost like every Friday, like head and head with Sweets, like every Friday releasing a new Dama. It's intense.
Yeah. They're crazy. That's a commitment right there. They must have just weeks and weeks lined up, and the Damas just show up, and I sometimes will not even have seen a design, and I get to see it in person before I even see it, which is kind of tight sometimes. And I'll have it for a couple of weeks or a month before it drops, and it's always sweet to see those Damas because they're always coming up with something new and fresh. And there's tons of different Damas for no matter what style, what shape you want to play, or if you want some really out there or something on the simple side. I feel like there's a ton of options.
Right. So what's your go-to? What you mentioned, the Too Good? Is that it? Do you have another shape? We got like the AK, the CK. The CK?
The AK and CK pretty similarly. I'll give them a sesh every once in a while. They're fun, but the Too Good is just my comfort zone. I've been having fun with the funeral French Damas that just came out with the really pop-in neon colors. That series is kind of cool.
Those are Too Good.
Fun. Yeah, Too Good. Maple Tama. I mean, Maple Ken with Ash Tama, which is interesting. It's kind of different to play. I'm enjoying those. I kind of I play a ton of different Kendamas, all from Krom, that just kind of over the years get slowly more and more jammed. It seems like less than I used to. I just stick with one Kendama. I kind of enjoy like, I'll play this one today and just give it a run, see what it's got, and go out and jam it.
And let's see it from your wall. You have, I see like a Soul, I see a Sweets. Do you play others?
So this shelf right here is like the homie mods, like just like 5 homie mods. There could be like a shelf probably with like 10 or 12 homie mods, but it has to be cut down to 5. So it's kind of unfortunate. Some homies.
Shit!
Cut. Like you gotta.
I was gonna say, who made the cut?
You need another geometry.
And also like some of the. I think this Dometry is like doesn't really fit like some of the newer shapes that well. So
small
it kind of has.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It kind of has like I got like the Lindy mod. I caught that one because Lennon's the homie for sure. And then of course got the White Bray, the Nick Gallagher, Nick Stod that my parents bought for my birthday in like 2016. I think it was one of the first Stod mods that came out, and he was just running Kendama. Like everyone thought he was the GOAT. Like he was just on top of the world in Kendama at that point. I remember like 2016 Stod was just eating, and then I got a Kevin mod. So it's a nice selection.
That is a nice selection. It's a good spread.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, who didn't make the cut?
I don't know.
What the other one? Which were the other 5 that you had to take down? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's all good.
I mean,
come on, Love's still there. He hasn't.
I'm just kidding.
They're still there. There's not on the shelf right now. I guess I don't buy a ton of people's mods. So like buying the White Bray No Jumper one. I mean, I have that one in package over there, but like buying. I don't buy a ton of Kenamas, but like the Lyndon, the Kevin. I mean, I won the Nick, but yeah, I got a couple more. I forget even which ones, but those ones have been there for a while. They're solid 5 for sure.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, you were just talking about how many Kroms you have to stash. So I mean, you can only play so many Kendamas at a time, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
I know in the past 19, 18, the past 3 times you came to KWC, you made it up to the stage for the final, not 16, it's more than 16, like 30?
32, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the finals for the finals.
Yeah, on stage for the second day. And everybody gets a huge loot bag, right? What do you do?
Yeah.
What's your feeling on getting all these different companies' Kendamas when you're a sponsored player?
Most of the time, I would, like, if I got a fat grab bag of Kendamas, I mean, at that event, I probably gave away a lot of them. Maybe I sold a couple of them, like maybe if they were worth it, but probably gave away most of them. And that's always what I've enjoyed doing at a couple comps. So I got lucky enough to win some prizes, like just give them right back to the homies in the crowd. Like that's like a great feeling to just immediately like these, especially if you've seen a kid that's been there like all day and you're like, okay, this kid's been out here like all day jamming. It's not like, I mean, anyone who shows up is more than welcome, but like see a kid that's just been jamming all day long, like putting in the work, you're like, this kid needs a Dom for sure. Like,
right. Or I mean, recent, those last like 2018, 2019 catch and flows right on stage after everyone got their goods, they would toss them out.
Yeah.
It was madhouse. And they could hear like Nobu on stage, like kind of like, oh, they're throwing all this sponsors shit. Like, especially in Japan, like it's like you get a gift, you receive a gift, like you treat it nicely. Like there's so much etiquette within business, of course, as well. And like the biggest thing I think of that shocked me was like business cards. Like you're not allowed to like put it in your pocket right away. If you get a business card, you got to like look at it, like examine it. Like if you're sitting down, you put it down nicely, like as if it's like a utensil that you're about to use. Like you never just put it away or like in your pocket or some shit. Like that is rude because that is the card. That card is like the person almost. So same with a gift. So that's why I like could understand like Nobu being like, oh, they're throwing it out there. Everyone's just like,
But I love that because, like, you know, everybody's throwing prizes and shit and everybody else is all stoked and it's all like a whole bunch of energy. But you're like, yo, they're not throwing everything. What else is in those bags? What are you not throwing? What are you keeping? That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw it. Just hold it up. Let me see.
Yes. I specifically remember like on stage, like Albert, like looking at shit as he's throwing out. He's like, sees like, 430 shirt, throws it over his shoulders. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one can stay with me.
Yeah. So what do you do with the foot long Dama?
Dude, that's funny. I was just going to say something about that. I don't remember much of what I got in my swag bag for KWC 2019, but I still have that dumbass foot long Dama in my trunk in the whip. Like every once in a while when the trunks pop, like maybe if I'm about to play some disc with the homies, like we're like, I have like, well, this is a side note. In that same box where I keep this foot long Dama, I keep Dama stocked in there to like literally give away to people. Like if there's somebody interested and I'm nearby the car, like I keep Damas that are strung up that I've mashed together setups that are worthwhile to like give to somebody. And I just giving away Kendamas from my trunk. But yeah, that foot long Dama just is chilling in my trunk. It's all beat up. The base cup's all shriveled in. It's like, but yeah, I don't remember much of what I got, but that prize was made it out, bro.
That one was those intense. Ones were sick.
Yeah.
When I saw people taking out like long boxes, I was like, either that's the Akimoto or it's that foot long. And I'm like, I'm guessing it's the foot long because the Akimoto is unreasonably priced.
They're expensive. Yeah.
For that 10 cup.
A lot of Cerritos. It's a lot of Cerritos.
I guess so. I'm going to just ask you to make one, Rob, like quickly. Or actually, it'd probably be more money. But that foot long,
it might be,
dude. You got to get a clip. You got to do some IG clips for that with that thing, yeah.
Maybe I'll give you a story post, but like I'm not putting that.
Whirlwind check.
Oh, so are you pretty like snobby in your posts? Not snobby, but a perfectionist, I should say. Like I know, like the Gallagher's, Nick specifically is like, I don't post, like that's not a banger. I'm not going to post it.
Definitely, because I know that so many of my tricks that I've posted, I put so much time into, so I don't find any reason to flood the feed and like take away from those posts that I already put so much work into. I don't find it necessary to like just make a post to make a post. So like, sure, I love to post a story clip of like a trick I'm doing that day. It's fun to just toss one up there with a little song, but I don't find the need to like fill my feed with a certain amount of clips every single month because I'd rather people see the clips that I am proud of. So
do you save stuff for YouTube? Do you prefer that?
Most of the time, if I'm going to film for YouTube, it's like there's an end goal. Like there's a project that I'm working to. Like it's rare that I'll just like bag some clips and then decide to start making a video with them. There's got to kind of be a vision to start filming and like kind of know what I'm working towards. So yeah, I guess if I decide, start making an edit, then that clip will get saved for sure.
So does that come from you, like yourself? Like you have to be like, oh, I want to put out an edit, or does your sponsor ask like, hey, we want this many, like a record deal with like a band or some shit, like we got the contract for this many albums.
Yeah, there's a 10 edit contract.
There's not too many guidelines. It's very have to take your own initiative, and I think that's what companies appreciate, is taking initiative, and that's how I got anything from Kendama, is by taking initiative and making edits before anybody told me to make an edit, like just doing it just because. I mean, I haven't put out an edit yet this year, and I need to, and I'm scheming on one with Joe, like a little POV video, but yeah, like I don't have any kind of pressure to film anything. I can do it at my own pace, and I think as long as I don't like pull a Fisher and like go off the map, I can just keep doing what I'm doing, and I'll be fine. Like make videos at my own pace, and I'll be putting out an edit within the next couple months. So yeah.
You prefer the POV? You've been doing a lot of those.
I like POV. It's so easy to just throw on the GoPro and know for the most part it's going to be a good shot if you know how to properly position it on your head. It's pretty pretty easy to just lock and load and like start filming. You could just like not have to. You can just be walking around like just. There's not like you're not like stuck stationary, like stuck in one spot where the tripod's like recording you. Kind of just like pop it on. You could start filming, and it's just good to go.
I feel like it's kind of nice for like your style of play too, with a lot of the like fast hands and like the quick little transitions and shit like that. You can like see it POV is like a good way for people to like even see it better, or maybe even learn it,
Yeah. Using slow-mo, those sneaky like half turns to candle grabs you're doing, and it's intense.
Exactly.
There's certain tricks that like if I'm filming for a POV video, I might avoid, certain tricks can be better appreciated, as you're saying, POV than others. 100%. Like so many can, like, I'm not going to do some late inward goons or whatever, something that would go out of frame too crazy. Like I'm trying to do what works for that angle.
Even like I find always with POV that lunars they always look thummy because you're looking down at that angle.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like lunar's a weird one where like I'm always like I don't know. I don't always feel satisfied with how they look when you film at POV, But it also, again, it depends on the trick though. Inward's a little bit different than regular.
I feel like most people like inward more. No? Is that just me?
I think so. It seems to be more popular for like most, like when you get into like the harder lunar tricks, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dylan? Which one do you prefer?
I like inward lunar, but regular lunar is classy.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like
I'm more of a regular lunar.
I can find the balancing point a lot easier with inwards. I feel like it's almost more horizontal. The Ken for some reason. Okay. I don't know the position, maybe how I'm holding the Dama. But yeah. And when I'm going for a normal lunar, I feel like we get also, depending on the Dama I'm using, if it's got a base cup hole or not, or whatever, if it's heavy on that base cup, I always feel like I have to tip it back more than my eyes think it should be.
Like just looking at it, I wonder if it's because like if you put it in inward lunar, you're kind of looking down the spike. But if you put it in regular lunar, you're kind of looking down the Cerado.
And you don't.
And the spike is like longer.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you a little bit more of a
visual
sight, I guess. Yeah, it's like more of a visual aid,
Oh, especially with that Krom 10.
Because it's a Terra 10.
Yeah. I mean, Krom, the Terra 10, because it's got that. It's like a fucking bullseye.
The X. Yeah, it is.
It's a scope.
Big old bullseye.
Yeah. Looking down the scope, it's balanced. It's good. Oh my God.
Cool. I've never thought of that before. Yeah. You learn something new every day.
Hey, learn to have some battle. Dude, there was some interesting things that you've done personally, Dylan, like maybe from inspiration from TJ, I'm not sure, but a few months ago, could have been early this year, I forget, you opened your time for Kendama lessons, one-on-one Kendama lessons. How has that been going? How did it come to you to try it?
So I was kind of scheming it prior to my Europe trip, and then my Europe trip just kind of inspired me. It kind of made me think maybe it's possible, it's worth a shot. I was kind of feeling like, I mean, when you're out there playing kendama for 6 weeks straight, and like, it just feels like, I mean, it just felt like my entire life at that point, you know, you're just out there like really doing it. So I really was like coming back with the mindset, like, this might sound silly to some people, but like, I don't even care what people think. I'm going to run with this and like give it a shot. And like, I talked to some people obviously about it and trying to figure out a price that was fair, and like, not wanting to undersell myself, because I know that like lessons for anything are extremely expensive, and I got some garbage for like the prices I was charging. And it's like, I've been playing kendama for well over 7 years at that point, and I felt like my knowledge and time was worthy of a certain dollar amount, and got a little bit of slack for it, but whatever, it's besides the point. I did those classes for a little while after my trip. I was excited to try to run with it and maybe try to get some consistency on people to come back and do multiple classes, but it didn't seem like there was a market for it that was large enough to keep going. I was fortunate enough to get to do like probably like 10 or 20 classes, which was cool. Got to talk to some people and teach them some tricks, and I did my best to provide them a good experience, like preparing beforehand and making it kind of personalized wherever hopefully the person that I was giving a class to had some clips to check out, and I would kind of go through and scheme on maybe some trick ideas, or see be able to see what level they're at to show them this trick, and leave time for them to ask questions or about anything that they want. It was cool, and I gave it a shot, but it just doesn't seem like there was a consistent market for it. And the other thing was, I didn't want to just like completely be making that like the only thing I'm posting on my Instagram or my story, just like asking, like, come join this class. Like, I don't think I was ever overdoing it at any point, but I didn't want to like just keep constantly asking. Like, it just not desperate, like just like I don't want to just be over and over again trying to be so repetitive.
Yeah, you're just like, not spamming, right?
Just don't want to just like. So I did it, and it was a cool experience, but just end of the day, I just don't think there was a market for it.
It's interesting. Like, there probably is, depending on where you are. You know, if we were back in hard thing, in that Latvia time, you know, that could have been something that you could have gone with. But like, I know that Kodaman from Zuma Danke and Mirai from Tokyo Dama Girls, they have a group that they do meetups like every month and stuff. And where they, of course, before COVID, they would actually meet up. But they also have now, they turned it into in Japan, we call it an online salon, where it's like a paid membership thing to be part of this community. So they are accepting, of course, money for like the month as a subscription fee. And then you have like these lessons that they do online, these gatherings that they do online. And, you know, it could just be like, I'm interested if it's a thing that is more open to be in Japan. I wonder if there's a cultural difference.
I was going to say, I think it's a very Japanese thing.
Yeah.
Like that in general. Yeah. Just like the salon, the idea of the salon thing is like, I've heard about it in Japan a few times and like not really anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. I
don't see why it couldn't work other places. Yeah. It's just kind of like you said, like there just needs to be a market for it. Right. And like where you're at and like being able to do it online versus in person, I think make things very different. Like the Kodamirai thing, they started in person and then had a core group and then went to online because of COVID. Yeah. But I feel like it's a lot easier to do that than it is to go the other way around. Right. If you're starting online and then like, cause in person, it's so much easier to like connect with someone and like actually show, especially with something like Kendama that's so analog. You can just like, you have to hold it, right, to do it. And you're like, you can sit here through the screen and be like, yeah, do that, but like twist your hand this way, like something like that.
You just freeze. But, like,
but like it doesn't work as well as if like you're in person. You can like put your hand right there and like show them or like hold their thing. And there's right. It's just another
But there totally is because like you mentioned, Dylan, like, there's classes for everything, every type of, especially sports and stuff.
I guess I shouldn't make the big statement that there's no market for it. I think someone could absolutely run with it and do it even better than I presented it or could have done it. So I think it's possible, but maybe I just didn't do it the best way.
There's so many aspects of it. Yeah,
it's hard to do.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool.
Good on you for getting in there and doing it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That sucks that people were giving you slack for it, because it's like that. It's only those things that can make kendama be like solidified
a more
as
viable career option.
Not only that, but a viable like thing to do. It's not like a kid's toy anymore. Like it's a real thing. You know, if people just see it as, you know, a fucking like playing jacks on the street or fucking marbles, if we want to, you know, talking to the old people, it's, you know, I bet there's like fucking Pokemon card instructors out there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's, you know, of course there is.
And
I bet if it was connected to if a brand like kind of connected themselves to it and like presented their pros as like if maybe they had 3 pros in the team that wanted to do classes, like really like promoted it through their page and made it very professional, like not just like me, some college kid, like just throwing up a post on his own, like kind of connecting it with a brand would be kind of could be kind of cool, kind of could help it grow.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, you'd have like the exposure that brand has to help you push it as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. A little more.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that's right. One big thing that Koda Mira has, right? Koda Man being on TV and being a well-known presence within Kendama of Zumadanke and
totally.
Shit. Yeah. And then him producing Tokyo Kendama Girls and shit, like the connections there. So it was something that could be definitely, dude. Like, and possibly another thing would be like, if it would become a career, like say example, like, or even like high pay tournament prize money or some shit, like where thinking always for me, going back to like skateboarding, it was for street rats, punks doing that shit back in the day. Right. And then the people who loved it, had the passion for it, were the ones that continue to drive it. And that's one awesome thing about like pretty much everyone who is running a kendama business right now. Like they have the passion for it. They are in it. They are players of it. And I feel like possibly, you know, like you're saying about Latvia and, you know, who like Kenko back in the day, maybe that's when someone from a different hand, they pass it off to someone else who didn't have that player's perspective, the passion that could kind of in ways corrupt it a bit. So that's another reason I feel like the kendama community is so cool. And then, you know, connecting with skateboarding, all those like old school skateboarders were the ones who started making projects, started making boards and stuff and creating companies to keep it going. I feel like doing this shit is what makes kendama a stronger presence as like, you know, when you learn about yo-yo, oh yeah, yo-yo is a thing, but then you like, oh, there's a whole scene, there's professionals, there's massive companies, tournaments. I have friends that are juggling teachers, and they're like their fathers, they have families that they support through juggling, you know, just by teaching. So like and juggling is like obviously a lot older of a community, and it like has a lot more to it than kendama at this point, but it's not to say kendama can't like at least join that community, be a part of it. Yeah. If not like it's not, I don't think kendama will be as big as juggling as a whole, just because juggling is so encompassing of so many different props and like history of it too,
worlds all kind of amalgamated into what is kind of considered juggling, whether it be flow arts or just straight juggling kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which kendama has aspects of all of those things, and it is a part of that, but it's its own thing at the same time.
Yeah. I think, but like people didn't take it like seriously for a long time. And that's why it stayed as like a toy, right? Where 100%. Juggling could have stayed a toy, but people were like going out, creating a profession. Like I am a juggler. Yeah.
People like raise the skill level and then start showing people that you can do this. And then other people learn to do that. And then there's more people to teach. And then there you go. Boom. Now there's teachers are born.
Cool.
Mr. Westmoreland.
Yes, that's true. Hello, my teacher, Mr. Westmoreland.
Westmoreland-san.
Yeah. So yeah, fuck those people who are giving you shit about that. That sucks. That must have been shitty.
Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Were they people you know, or are they just like randos like hitting you up, being like, "Yo, this is whack"?
This one, I don't even want to give him the time of day.
You don't have to give
it. Yeah.
This one dude. If you don't want.
Yeah, just somebody I kind of knew, like whatever. It didn't deter me. I gave it a shot, and yeah. I felt like
shouldn't.
It felt like the right time, like to run with it. I was feeling so connected to Kendama at that, like coming off the Euro tour. So it was like, I was like, now is the time. I'm feeling it. So let's try it.
Yeah. Cause I mean, like, you look at Josh, what he's doing with the Sweets, what is it called again? Institution.
Yeah. Sweets Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. They are accepting money. They're not going directly to like Kendama players. They're having a different like market for it, going to schools, having an educational program around it. But still, like one-on-one, like, you can't get that and like anywhere else. So for, like you said, there might not be you had however many lessons. That's better than zero.
I think it could be something that could like progress further. Like now that we're having events in person again and more people are coming together for this, like you could do this at in-person events. Like, you could give up a couple hours of your day at the event and just be like, okay, well, here's a time slot for like lessons with Dwesty. Here's a time slot for, lessons with whoever or whatever. But that's already been a thing, like with workshops and whatnot at NAKO and some other events. So like, I don't see why that's not possible.
Yeah.
True.
Dude, watch after this video goes up within like 3 months or something. It's going to be some teams be like, hey, throw in jams. I mean, dude, it's Coda Man and High Receipts are throwing jams that are $10 entry fee jams.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not
actually
sure.
Outside or in
Outside
a venue or
Yogi Park. They're just hanging out at a park. So
and they're charging $10.
Ooh, hey, you want me to research? I think it was just like,
I believe you. That's interesting.
I think it was just like kind of like a hang. And again, like then there's the connection that Coda Man already has like an audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the High Receipts kids are fucking gnarly as shit. If you want to go watch some high level kendama play, those are your fucking guys
with
right
the
there.
Energy too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad they started that.
Dude, yeah, it's so sick. The young new gen Japanese COTK.
Like it's just like everyone dreams of it. You're like, God, can you just be a gang? Like you guys are like, can you guys just like squat up, make videos, like please, because you're all sick as fuck. Like that'd be awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
They did it, dude. It's so awesome, and how they're from different companies is such a rad thing to see.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's that old school, just like homie vibe. Yeah. Like it's not about the company. It's not about selling products. It's about making fucking edits.
I don't know if I've shouted out, but got to give a shout out to the best crew I ever watched, COTK. They gave me so much inspo back in the day. That was just
oh yeah,
such a fire crew. When you said like homie vibes, repping all different companies, like first thing click was like COTK, all repping like different companies and just ripping.
Yeah, that was such a cool thing to see. And yeah, they were definitely like the forefathers of that. How did you feel? Did you see the High Receipts where they didn't rip off, but they ripped that scene of you, Jake, Kenyatta, and TJ? I forgot what KUSA edit it was at the end, where TJ does a double yank spike where everyone wasn't ready for the second one.
Yeah.
And they recreated that exact shit.
That's hilarious.
Did they really? I didn't see that. That's so sick.
I think I saw it, and I should have appreciated it more because that's super funny that they did that.
Right. And of course they didn't hint at it. Like they didn't say like, hey, this is from whatever, or like even in a post. They just did it.
Yeah. It's just like, if you know, you know. Like,
yes. And the reaction, like even when the first yank happens, and then Ween screams, let's go. Like, I forgot, maybe Soma was the one. Like, Kaito did the yank and they're sitting there and someone's like, let's go. Or maybe a Nobu. And then he goes for the second one. It hits and they, just like you guys, like jump from wherever you were sitting down and just run off screen. So good.
Yeah, that was fun.
So good. So yeah, you get a original high receipts pin when you go to the event.
You get a pin.
You get a pin. You put on your bag or your
$10, run it.
$10, eh? So do you get a pin every week if you go every week or whatever? How often do they do this?
So right now it's just this one. This is the first time they're doing it from 10 to 12.
Interesting. Is it like an enamel pin or one of those button pins?
Probably a button pin, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I was hoping you
you're
weren't
not only
going to say
paying for
that.
the pin, you're there to hang out. There's probably, you can ask the dudes for some tips and shit.
I guess. That's, yeah.
They're doing the Ats session, which is super cool that they do. Like they just hype like everyone and anyone. I remember like when I was there at like Kendama Day, they did their high receipts Ats session. Ats like very hot. Like let's hot, like Moriagato, let's like get everyone hyped up.
Yeah.
And they're like, Soma usually loses his voice at the end because he's just screaming in like this mic the whole time, like oh, and like Kaito is like going around like grabbing kids to like get in this cipher that they make, and they're just like do anything like airplane. The kids hit airplane, and then it's so cool to see they lose their shit, and it's like that passion of, because when it starts, so many people, especially the lower level skill level people, are like shy. They don't want to go. They're like, I'm not at that level. And then, they pull them in and like, dude, what do you got? What do you got? Like spike, swing spike, do it. They swing spike. Everyone's like, ah, like screaming. Like, and that's how like that birth,
that's
I feel like within the States too, how it got stronger. Because everyone was at the same level, I kind of feel, as Kendama was rising. And that's when it's like, yeah, this is cool. But if you have, you play with other people who are really high level, maybe you're shy, you're not going to play. So it can take a turn for some people if you're going to continue playing or not. But when everyone's on the same level, growing at the same time, that's when it's the fucking best.
No doubt.
So that's what you're paying for, that fucking motivation.
I guess, if
Big Brother,
I'd pay $10 for those guys to hype me up.
Hype you up.
I should get those guys to come to work with me. Come hype me up while I dig this fucking hole, and build this fence. And they're just
Yasu doing like back front flips and shit all the time. Yeah.
Hey, now we're talking. I'm gonna talk to the boss, see if he'll hire the high receipts.
Yeah,
just for like a day or two. Maybe once a month.
Oh my god, a surprise crew for the jam, Terra Jam, Van Jam.
Yeah, mate. I was talking about like literal work, like landscaping, like as a joke, but yeah, that would be good for a jam night too. That's why I said like build the fence, and they're screaming. Dig a hole for a tree. Like,
dude, we've been rocking and rolling. Dylan, was there anything you've been like grinding? You want to like share? What have you been doing recently, or some shout outs or something like? Yeah, where's your mind at?
Some shout outs?
Yeah,
I guess I could just say anyone who's listening at this point, you definitely you have a strong passion for Kendama, so shout out to you for being this deep, because I know
hell yeah,
I know I'll watch listen to all these nerd podcasts and hear about some of my favorite players that have been on this show and will continue to be on this show. But I just want to shout out Kendama and the community. Like I wouldn't be playing still. I'd probably still have a Kendama, but like obviously without the community, I would not be playing like I do to this day. So shout out the community, shout out future friends, shout out shout out you guys. Thanks for doing these podcasts. It's super cool to create these audio pieces that will last for so long, that you get to really dive into people, and you guys really take your time to learn about people. Like I can't believe how I don't ever spend this much amount of time talking about myself. So it's got to be an earful to hear me talking for that long.
Dude, yeah, there's plenty of people, plenty of fans, Dwesty fans who are like, you're what got me into it, like watching your tricks, one of my favorite players,
Totally.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's Kendama's sick, and I'm grateful for all the opportunities I've got, especially Kendama USA days were what brought me up. So that was tight. Yeah, super fun times.
What are some words of inspiration for the young people? Because you were one of those people who were, back in the day asking for signatures, now giving signatures.
Yeah. Play for you, but if you can find a purpose to want to grind Kendama more, if there's a company or a shape you want to rep and you want to push yourself to get to that next level, like do it. It's fun to have a goal in mind when you're grinding certain tricks, like a purpose. That's always nice. And go play Kendama outside. Like I have spent so many hours playing Kendama outside one thing, like living with my family all those younger years, I didn't want to be too loud, so I would always just chase the sun. I'm out there playing Kendama in the sun because that's the best lighting. There's no lighting that can replicate the sun. So go out there and see your Kendama flipping around and have fun and just keep playing. That's just jam.
Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Almost 2 hours or more? Hey,
we're
I think more.
Almost 3.
Been a good deep dive. It's been a little while since we've been in here, getting back and comfy, back in the studio.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, MJ, like thanks for taking the time to come out, Dwesty, and talk about yourself and give us some stories from Europe and all that shit. It's cool to hear.
Yeah.
And keep up the good work, buddy. Don't let anybody tell you not to fucking teach shit, because
old Rod, me and Rod will be going and making some visits.
Yeah.
But that goes to like anybody fucking trying to do something. Like, don't worry about other people talking smack. Just fucking, you think you can do it, you want to do it, you have passion to do it, dude. Dylan definitely has passion, definitely has the know-how, definitely has, enough to think about, like, come on, just think about like what's a good trick for a POV versus a normal, tripod, who thinks, like, I didn't fucking really think about that, but there's thought it goes into.
Or like on the other end is like, if you're going to like, if you don't like something someone's doing, there's a good way to go about like, telling somebody or like criticizing or however, you don't have to be, yo, that's fucking whack, dude. And it's like, yeah, cool. That helps a lot. Yeah. Really good for everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Yes. All right, Dylan. Again, thank you so much, dude, for hanging out with us, hanging out with the nerds, getting a nerds episode in. It was awesome. Yeah. Again, I believe, I could be wrong, but from our experiences talking with each other, when I see you, you're kind of keep to yourself. So it's really cool. I think for not only me, for other people also to hear more of your voice, and your side of the story. Because again, with that passion, it's like there must be a big voice behind all that shit. So again, thank you so much for opening up and talking with us for this long. Thanks for supporting, Patreon, everyone else you could support, hold back on, what do you say? Hold back on the McChicken one weekend,
just one McChicken a month.
You can support Damaners and kendertainment, all this content I've been making throughout the years now, and trying to get more and more heavily back into it because everyone's supporting, and because of that, I can continue doing these long form audio podcasts. Got weekly Dama news doing every week, trying to put more stuff on YouTube so other people can like get into it or get a deeper connection to it. This wooden skill toy that we all love, because when you have a room that looks like ours with fucking damas covering your walls and your shelves in boxes and stuff, you're in it. You're a nerd. One of us unites.
Yes.
Oh man.
You may not be wearing glasses, but you're a nerd.
Yes.
I'm a nerd. Jesus, I'm a nerd for life.
Nerd for life. Yeah. Shout out for the Patreons and all that.
Thank you.
And I guess on all that note, these 3 nerds are out.